Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Day 2 for us here at RV City. Florida Georgia Week rolls on. It gets a little bit busier. They brought a pizza truck in. We've got vehicles of all different shapes and sizes rolling through RV City, rolling through downtown Jacksonville and in the city of Jacksonville, and that included this puppy right behind us. And I might have taken that thing home last night.
You're a better man than I am, Brent.
That's a heck of a ride.
I bet.
The Polaris Slingshot.
How fast did you get it going?
You know, here's
honest.
the interesting thing. It was hard to tell with the gauge. I don't know if it reads different, but I could not figure that out. I was not flying, I can tell you that. I was just breaking this baby in.
Yeah.
But I will say this, day 2 of driving it today, you go 0 to whatever pretty quick now.
A little more confident now,
Yeah, a little bit more confident.
A little Fast and Furious coming at you.
A lot of fun. What a unique ride. First of all, I love driving a stick shift.
Yeah.
Haven't done that in a long time. I learned to drive on a stick shift, so I hadn't done that in a long time. But it's fun driving a stick shift. It really is. So it was cool. I had a great time riding this thing around. And so many people are stopping by. So I said, you know what? Let's just put it on the video feed. And there you get a good look at it. Part motorcycle, part car. It's called the Polaris Slingshot. You can check it out on Instagram and Twitter and our feeds and everywhere else. On Twitter, by the way, it's at Slingshot. That's their Twitter handle. On Instagram, it's at Polaris Slingshot. And you can also go to the website and read some of our tweets about how to link up and enter to win a chance to drive this thing on a Gator Walk for the final 2 home games coming up in Gainesville. It leads the charge. Also give you 2 tickets to a Gators game if you win the prize. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, Austin Lane, current MMA fighter. How's that fight shaking out, man?
We're kind of on the brink of it. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Is it going to happen, or is it a possibility?
They're still trying to find me an opponent right now.
I mean, how much will you pay me? I'll get in.
Well, how much weight are you willing to gain right now? Because we have that pizza truck right in front of us. So
I mean, listen,
there are ways, Brent.
I got Cheetos and Fritos in there.
Style. Yeah.
I've got some Chick-fil-A still from yesterday.
Okay.
Fatball season is on. It's Halloween. Candy is everywhere.
Plenty.
So I'll just lay off that no sugar thing I was going to try starting Monday.
Yeah.
And I'll get ready for the cage on November 9th.
Well, then, if that's the case, then I'll meet you halfway. So we'll do like a catch weight. So I'll actually cut about, maybe 20 pounds. You gain about 20 pounds. We should be in the same ballpark, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to get me in the ring.
500 and I'm in.
But 500 for Kuz. Kuz, I'll throw in another 500 for you just so I could watch it.
It'll be about 5 seconds.
Kuz, I mean, we don't need a cage. We just go in the parking lot outside, man. If you want to just get a fight for $1,000,
I mean,
make it happen.
Is it worth it getting knocked out for $1,000? Probably, right?
I won't knock you out, dude. I'll just choke you out. It's not a big deal.
Oh, okay.
I've almost been choked out before. I mean, on TV. I mean, I almost did. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah. You're gonna make me. I always forget his name. Give me a legend in the MMA world that started out. Guy from Iowa.
Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes. Nice job. Matt Hughes.
My stuff, yeah.
So Matt Hughes is in Albany, New York area.
Yeah.
And MMA's just become a thing.
Sure.
I mean, very infancy of it.
Well, by the way, Matt Hughes is one of the biggest legends of all time in MMA.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
one of the
passed,
pioneers.
right?
No, he's so he got in he parked. It's kind of out there what happened exactly, but he got hit by a train in his vehicle. And then he's still recovering from that.
Okay. So he got a bad accident.
Yeah, bad accident.
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's recovering. But so we went to do the story, and he was talking to some wrestlers because he's an Iowa wrestler, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And Iowa's wrestling program's unbelievable. So we go to the story, and it's kind of this mix of talking to wrestlers and also MMA starting up.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, well, what's your move, And it's what is it, rear naked chokehold, right?
Rear naked chokehold, yeah.
See that? Good memory.
Nice.
And so I do a stand-up. In TV, you kind of like you're telling a story, and then to put yourself kind of in the story and show you that you're there, and you kind of advance the story. Journalism 101 here, folks. You do a little bit of a stand-up. So I've got, Matt Hughes right there, and me, and I'm talking, and I say, hey, this is his signature move. And so he puts me in the signature move. But what I don't realize at the time, I thought you got to tap out.
You got to tap out, man. You didn't tap out.
I didn't tap out.
Oh, no.
So, but he caught me as I was passing out.
Yeah.
And so he caught it, but I didn't tap out. He's like, dude, you got to tap out. I was like, I didn't even know what the heck that meant.
Oh, man. I mean, is that video someplace to see?
You know what? It's funny
I hope
because
it's on YouTube.
here's the deal. It is literally video of me in that stand, like, passing out. Like, I'm on my way out. Like, I don't completely go because he stops and he catches me.
Yeah.
But we debated whether we should run that, and we ended up running it anyway. So, yes, there is video, though it didn't have the YouTubes and all that stuff, and that channel doesn't exist. So I got to go check with my buddies, Rich Becker and Scott Morlock back up in Albany and Matt Ryan, see if they still have that video somewhere. But it was classic, and I always remember it. But that was at the infancy. That would have been – it had to be prior to 2008. So somewhere between 5, 6, 7 is probably when that happened at Shenendehowa High School in Albany, New York. Little Matt Hughes story. I didn't think that was the way I was starting the show today.
But here we
are, right? Florida-Georgia week is going to be fun here on a Thursday. We catch up with former Dog quarterback Aaron Murray, who's, still playing football, but he's also doing a little bit of what we do.
Yep.
And he's got some great memories from this stadium and Jacksonville, and he'll share some of those with us later on. That'll come up about 4:30. Scott Strickland, the athletic director for the University of Florida, will join us in about 20 minutes. He'll join us here on the program, too, so we have that coming up. We also go to the wall that says it all and talk a little Florida, Georgia. Now, I'm not going to fool you, okay? Sometimes we try to fool you on TV, and we kind of piece it all together. We taped this on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Partly because, well, we knew we were going to be out here. The other part is we have Action Sports Jack's Game of the Week on ESPN 690 at Mandarin. So I've got to cut out of here an hour early to get to Mandarin High School. Austin will take care of the rest of the show from the studio around 5:15 or so. But 5 o'clock we'll have the wall that says it all. We break down a little bit of Fromm, Trask, and also the key to this football game, we think, and many other people think. So that's coming up on the wall that says it all a little bit later on in the show. World Series champs, Washington Nationals.
You called it.
Well, I mean, listen, in seventh inning, can I take my pick back?
Yeah.
Greinke was on fire. He's just rolling through things, and then it turned on a dime. You know what's amazing in sports? Sometimes you need a moment to catch your breath and acknowledge the fact that you just got, knocked out.
Sure.
And sometimes sports doesn't allow you that chance to catch your breath. And that's what happened yesterday. In the seventh inning, Greinke's cruising along. The Astros are having great at-bats. Runners in scoring position, runners on base. I mean, it's quiet for the Nationals. It's like it's over. It's like the 3 games that were in Washington. Well, then all of a sudden, Rendon does it again. Yeah. Then Howie Kendrick does it again. And you blink, it's 3-2. And you blink, and the Nationals are putting more runners on. And you could see it in the ninth inning. Houston just didn't have time to catch their breath. There was only 9 outs to go in the game after that happened. And so it was over. If they could have played to the 12th or 13th inning, if all that happened, that sequence I just mentioned in the 4th inning, they might have had time to catch themselves. But sometimes you could see it on their face, man. They were shell-shocked. Yeah. They thought they had that game. They outplayed the Nationals for 7 innings, 6.5 innings, and bam, it just hit them like that. Incredible team. I think both teams are incredible. I was thinking of this on my way back to the station yesterday. I feel like this was watching the All-Star game in a best-of-7 series. There are so many good players on both rosters, with the exception of the closers. The bullpen arms are really just okay. They're not all-star-like arms, but the pitching staffs, the starting pitching, and the lineups, it was like watching an all-star game and having them do a best-of-7. It was a fantastic series.
Well, and speaking of, the bullpen, I think the biggest question you take away from Game 7 is the fact that, and I get it, hindsight's 20/20. But do you take Greinke out in that situation after give up the home run? He was pitching a gem of a game. Do you put in Garrett Cole? Do you put in your stud right there and try to close the game out from there? I mean, you can kind of gauge that they're trying to maybe wait to the 8th or 9th inning to bring him in to close the game out. But I feel like every inning's important, and just obviously they kind of hit the wrong button there, which pitcher to go to.
You said it, right?
Yeah.
I like A.J. Hinch a lot. I really think he's a good manager. What happens is he put the wrong button? Yeah. He pushed the wrong buttons. And, I said at the start of this series, Jack Stan, I know you might be listening to some Nationals talk. Congratulations. I hate saying congratulations. It's not like you were part of the team, Jack Stan. If you were part of the team, you wouldn't have won the World Series. Let's just say that. But I know that's a big moment for Nationals fans. That's pretty cool stuff. And you find out who National fans are, right? All of a sudden they come out of the woodwork. I'd never seen so many Nationals fans. And that's cool. Good for them that they won it for the first time. But, I thought Davey Martinez, his lack of experience, second year on the job there, might show up where he makes the wrong moves in the World Series. sometimes it just plays out that way that you make the wrong moves. And A.J. Hinch had been there before. I think he had a plan. And, yes, I'd like to live and die with my best guys if possible. Yeah. So I get it. But he had a reason for doing it the way he did it. It just didn't work out.
And I'll tell you what, it kind of gave me a newfound found respect because obviously Houston did not press the right buttons. And, and thinking about, being a manager of a baseball team, I mean, it's so much analytics, right? I mean, you just basically look at the percentages and you select the right button, which is going to get you there. Well, as opposed to football where it's more of that physical game, or basketball even, I feel like being a manager of a baseball team could be the hardest coaching job in professional sports.
At this time of year it is. A lot of people otherwise would say, what do you do? I mean, you're reading a book, the analytics, all this kind of stuff, and 162 games, how much pressure. But I do think at this time of year, every pitch is so magnified, and he obviously took Greinke out early. Yeah. Why not ride with Greinke a little bit longer? He had only thrown 80 pitches. Yeah. So amongst the moves, I think he took him out too early, but you can't afford to keep someone in too late either. That's part of it. Hey, we went through the first segment, didn't talk Jags. We will on the other side. We'll get you caught up. Jags leave for London in just a few minutes right over there. We are live in RV City. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Our coverage this week brought to you by Travel Camp RV. Check them out at travelcamp.com.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
This will be the hottest Halloween on record under partly cloudy skies, temperatures soaring to near 90 degrees, a few scattered afternoon and evening showers. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's Wedding Band BOGO sale, 4 days only, November 7th through the 10th.
Save now at Travel Camp RV with payments as low as $107 a month and no payments for 90 days. It's fall fun season. Time to get out with family and friends in an RV from Travel Camp, where you get the guaranteed lowest price every time. Travel Camp specializes in towables, which keeps the costs lower and the prices lower than all the rest. Since 1982, they've helped more families make more great memories. Shop now and save at Travel Camp RV.
Shop the 904.
We're local, you're local, shop local.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
Shop the 904 and help keep our community unique. Get your favorite locally owned business featured on this radio station and on the Shop the 904 website. Simply visit shopthe904.com and leave us some information and help us share the love for local businesses.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group. Visit shopthe904.com.
The cooler temperatures are finally here. And that means it's time to play some golf at a great golf course. Go to the Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. Unbelievable promotion here. 2 free months of full golf membership and a $500 gift card with a paid initiation fee and a 12-month commitment. The Golf Club at Southampton, home of the Dream 18 and your new golfing destination. For information on these unbelievable programs, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY. That's 904-287-PLAY.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Beard's Diamonds is celebrating 39 years in Jacksonville with the biggest sale of the year. 4 days only. Buy her wedding band and get his band free. November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And only at Beard's Diamonds at the Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
What's good, Stephen A?
If you're a New York Jets fan, let's just say this. Damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, the New York Jets, when's the last time they been relevant?
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Now, back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and in the TuneIn Radio app.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of ups and downs. I mean, going from changing my eating plan as well as like changing multiple positions. Like when I came in, I was expecting to come in behind Jan, and now I'm behind Calais, and just having to gain weight and lose weight back and forth. I mean, it's been a whole bunch of ups and downs, but I feel like this offseason I was able to just really hone in. They really gave me a good plan and actually told me what I needed to do coming into the season. And I was able to really just perform in the offseason and really translate that to on the field.
Oh, what a story. One of the unsung heroes of this Jacksonville Jaguars football team, DeJuan Smoot. Yeah. 4 sacks on the year for DeJuan Smoot. If you had 4 sacks for DeJuan Smoot, you'd be winning a lot of money somewhere. I don't even know if DeJuan Smoot had 4 sacks on himself.
I don't think Las Vegas had that one up on their board.
It's crazy how if you start spreading it out, right? Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, Josh Allen with the 7, Smoot with the 4 chipping in. I mean, you get guys like that to chip in with it. Now you start adding that up. And again, I've been saying it now a lot, that they have guys making plays all over the roster. And we had Jaguars All Access last night, and I wanted to ask Boye and Calais Campbell, and I did mostly off air, about Jared Wilson. Because Wilson's played every snap. But, well, again, he doesn't really have the splash play. So from the outside perception, like, well, is he doing any good? I mean, why isn't he making a play? And my theory has been he's playing nice, sound defense. And I think that's what those guys said, too. And they said he's even getting more and more confident. And as he plays more and more confident, he's going to come downhill more and more, too. So there's some growth there. There's a ceiling that hasn't been hit yet for Jared Wilson. But I think it's a good sign. And I think that's the best sign of this defense. I can't remember, even in 2017, I'm not sure that the Jaguars defense had so many different guys making plays that I can remember. They might have, and I might just be a prisoner of the moment, but it feels like they have so many players making splash plays right now.
Well, and the biggest thing with Smoot, which is really telling, is the fact that, obviously he is not a starter right now on that team. He's a guy that comes in for depth, So whether it comes in for Calais, I think he comes in for Jan sometimes and plays that big defensive end role. Whoever he's coming in for, he's not a liability, because there's always a belief from a defensive line standpoint where, when you're in the heart of the game, you have to have your best rushers out there, right? Because when you start talking about depth a little bit, it kind of falls off of the talent. Well, it helps when you have, 8 or 9 guys you can plug and play whenever you want for depth purposes, and you're not really going to miss a step. So from that perspective, that's really good for Dwayne Smoot.
We are hanging out in RV City. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Florida Georgia Week is here. Jags about to hit the road. More Jags talk in a moment. Do want to remind you, Duval's Bold City Bash here at the Florida Georgia game is underway. I mean, it really starts right here in RV City, so that is part of it. Tomorrow will be the Hall of Fame luncheon. That's at noon. Tickets $60. I've not heard if that's sold out. I don't think it's sold out, so you can still get a ticket to the Hall of Fame luncheon tomorrow afternoon. The Bold City Bash Fanfare, Daly's Place, which is just across the street, tomorrow 1 to 10, Saturday 10 a.m. right until kickoff at 3:30. And then tomorrow there's a bunch of things. The Bold City Bash Block Party, that's at Adams Street and A. Philip Randolph. Gators and Dogs exhibition baseball game. I heard Marty Smith, who's going to join us tomorrow from ESPN, is throwing out the first pitch. Cool. As SEC Nation will be here. Then right after the game, there's a concert, and that's a country concert. Brett Young and Chase Rice, a couple guys that I don't mind listening to. And then the game, of course, at 3:30 on CBS 47. And we have a ton of TV coverage around it. Pre-game, post-game, Action Sports Jax primetime. It's a full day Saturday on CBS 47. All right, let's talk more about the Jags. We have Scott Strickland coming up, the AD of the Florida Gators, in just a few moments. They go to London. They are beat up a little bit. DJ Hayden not practicing again today. A couple other guys, more veteran days, nagging injuries, nothing crazy about this time of year. Ronnie Harrison hasn't been on the injury report, so that's a good thing. He came out of the game last week. They're a favorite in this football game. And I get it. I know they're at home. I know they've played in London, a little bit of an advantage. But they're almost like a favorite in this game where they're playing in this stadium. I was actually a little surprised. I think they're like a 2.5-point favorite. And I almost said to myself, did they remember they're playing in London?
Yeah.
Because on paper, I'm not going to lie to you, I think Houston's probably a notch better to this point. Well, the record shows it. They're 5-3. They beat them once. Is it a fair statement? Do you think Houston maybe is the better football team right now or no?
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think Houston is indeed the better football team right now. I think the Jaguars, though, they are playing with confidence, and that's something to be said. Obviously, Gardner Minshew had a great game against the Jets, so there's something to be said for that as well. But let's be honest, when you're comparing quarterbacks, I mean, Deshaun Watson right now, a lot of people are saying he's a candidate to be the MVP. Now, I don't really share those same sentiments for the most part. I still think he has to be more consistent, but they do have a lot of explosive weapons. So it kind of puts defenses on notice for sure.
Yeah, I wonder how they feel about themselves because they kind of got away with it last week. Great play by Watson. I know what they feel here in this building. Again, this isn't me. I don't think this is a huge separation point.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking about the Packers and the Jags, talking about the Patriots and the Jags right now, I'd probably say, okay, there's a decent gap there. Kansas City proved early on this season there might be a decent gap there. But I don't see Houston as that. I mean, this is just throw all these teams up in the AFC South, and one's going to come out of it with a break here, a break there, a play here, a play there. So I don't think there's a big difference. And I know this team feels really good about themselves. I don't know how Houston feels about themselves. The last couple of weeks, they lose to Indy, then they almost lose to the Raiders. They probably don't feel like they're playing their best football, whereas the Jags right now might be feeling like they are playing some of their best football, and they still are leaving plays out there, so they certainly haven't hit a ceiling.
Exactly. And, and I hate when people have come up with a narrative, well, they're winning against easy teams, right? Like the Broncos aren't any good. The New York Jets, they aren't any good. Okay, I get that, but the NFL, it's week by week by week, right? Like 1 week, the New York Jets, they beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
The next week, the New York Jets come out, and, they get curb stomped by the New England Patriots. So, I understand you want to say the Jaguars with Gardner Minshew, well, yeah, have they really beat anybody yet? Go ahead and put that narrative. At the end of the day, it is a hard thing to win in the NFL, and it's a hard thing to win on the road. And every single game is important because the biggest thing, which the Patriots have done such a good job so far displaying, is the fact that when you play a lesser team with maybe a lesser, talent on that roster, you can't play down your competition. And so far, I don't think the Jaguars have really. I think in Denver, that they pulled out at the end, and it was a good win, especially winning in Denver. And obviously against New York, who, they don't have near enough talent as the Jaguars do. But Gardner Minshew comes out and has a great game, and they kind of blow the doors off of the Jets. So from that perspective, I think that they've been having great wins, and this game, against Houston and London is going to be the ultimate test.
What worries you?
From Houston?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be
or from the Jags. I mean,
yeah.
Some word. That part doesn't get me. The Jags. We went through this last week, and I've been saying it. Their roster doesn't have a glaring weakness, so it's not like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden they're beat. Last week we went in and said, hey, the linebacker. You got to be careful about that position because they're beat up. Well, they thought they played okay, pretty well, really better than okay.
They did play okay, yeah.
And so what I'm trying to say is the Jags have proven that I'm not really worried about them. Gardner Minshew, I like his chances.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, been playing well. The offensive line's coming on. This defense, 8 sacks, 3 turnovers. They're playing well. I'm not concerned about it. I mean, maybe Josh Lambo with the groin injury, I guess you could be a little concerned there. But what about Houston? What are you afraid of outside of Watson? Is it just Watson and Hopkins? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, honestly, and I don't want to sound overconfident here underestimating Houston Texans, but the running game, it does not scare me because, we talked about yesterday a little bit, when you're talking about Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson, whenever they're in, you know what they're going to do. Carlos Hyde's going to tote the rock, and Duke Johnson's going to be using the pass game. They hardly ever use Carlos Hyde in the pass game for whatever reason. I'll be honest, I was more worried about Bell this past weekend when, you can use him both in the pass and the run game, especially, with some linebackers who don't have a lot of playing experience. At least now, depending, who's up and who's down for that linebacking core, at least now if you can look in the backfield and say, all right, we got Carlos Hyde in, expect the run. We got Duke Johnson on third down, expect the pass. At least there, there's going to be some tells from that perspective. Now, Houston can always switch it up, maybe get, Carlos Hyde involved in the screen game a little more, the short pass game. But I really don't see that happening. So, yeah, to answer your question, Brent, really it's only Hopkins. Now, Houston's, notorious for going the spread offense a little bit, too, and getting guys involved. That can make you nervous if you're a Jaguars fan, especially what Kansas City did. But, listen, the Houston Texans are not the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to wide receiving core right now, especially with Will Fuller being out. So, really only Hopkins to me is I'm the guy that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I would say this. I think Indianapolis is more of a concern than Houston.
I think that's a fair sentiment, especially because I think in the trenches, I think that the Colts are good on the defensive line and the offensive line.
And you could see them stifling, like the Jaguars front.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
being able, I don't know about run the football, but hard to get pressure.
Yep.
And so probably run enough. I'll give you this stat again. I looked it up. It's part of the Brent Sports Bureau. This one not floating around too many places other than here. But 285 yards the Jaguars gave up rushing against Carolina 4 games ago.
Yep.
In the last 3 games combined, the Saints, the Bengals, and the Jets, who, by the way, have good running backs. Murray, Kamara.
Mixon's good, too.
and Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
They've given up 182 yards combined.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you 33 of them from Andy Dalton. So really 150 yards out of those 4 backs. Kamara was banged up. But so those 4 backs in the last 3 weeks versus the 285 they gave up. They fixed things, and they're playing much better against the run.
Well, and don't forget, too, when these teams first met each other in the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston didn't get going until Carlos Hyde started getting the rock a little more and started getting some yards. I forgot what the total yardage was at the end of the day. I know it was over 100 yards. They had a pretty good day on the ground.
His yards per carry was pretty good.
Yeah, so don't forget about that either. I mean, I'm sure that game is still fresh in the Jacksonville Jaguars' mind, especially that defensive line. So, a team who has shut down the run week after week now, I'm sure they're pretty hungry to kind of stop Carlos Hyde as well.
Hey, we're able to come to you live from RV City this week thanks to Travel Camp, but also thanks to Joytel, joytel.net. Check it out, fiber and fixed wireless solutions for businesses of all sizes. Don't get lost in the masses with big box phone and cable companies. Local solutions from local people, because internet is the most important communications tool in your company. It is all we do, and it's been important for us to be able to bring this show from RV City to you. Joytel.net. Check it out. Pretty cool stuff that we're able to get here on Florida Georgia Week, and we thank them for helping us out as well. When we come back, Florida Georgia Week rolls on, and we talk to the Florida Gators athletic director, Scott Strickland. He joins us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Coming up next.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. According to Chris Westerling from NFL.com, the Jags had the best rookie class in the NFL because of Josh Allen and Gardner Minshew. Both are in the mix right now to be Rookie of the Year on their side of the ball. Speaking of rookies, and a roster move, the Jags have promoted undrafted rookie cornerback Brandon Watson to the active roster from the practice squad to replace Josh Robinson, who retired yesterday. Also, congratulations to the Washington Nationals.
The 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Hudson gets him. And for the first time ever, the Washington Nationals are World Series champions.
Thanks to ESPN Radio for the call. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jack's Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website VitaDeLouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to VitaDeLouis.com.
Save now at Travel Camp RV with payments as low as $107 a month and no payments for 90 days. It's fall fun season, time to get out with family and friends in an RV from Travel Camp, where you get the guaranteed lowest price every time. Travel Camp specializes in towables, which keeps the costs lower and the prices lower than all the rest. Choose from the best brands for as little as $107 a month with no payments for 90 days. Shop now and save at Travel Camp RV.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Hurricanes can cause severe damage to your home or property, so if you need storm repair, make sure you use only Florida licensed contractors. Remember to check their references, get everything in writing, and don't pay up front. To verify contractors are licensed, contact the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation online at myfloridalicense.com. That's myfloridalicense.com.
Shop the 904.
We're local, you're local, shop local.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
Shop the 904 and help keep our community unique. Get your favorite locally owned business featured on this radio station and on the Shop the 904 website. Simply visit shopthe904.com and leave us some information and help us share the love for local businesses.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group. Visit shopthe904.com.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Get your Florida weekend started with Golick and Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golick and Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back to RV City. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, Austin Lane here hanging out Florida Georgia week. We're a couple of days away now. 48 hours from kickoff on CBS 47 coming up in just a couple of days here in Jacksonville. And right now we are pleased to be joined by the Florida Gators athletic director, Scott Strickland. Oh, you ready for this one?
Hey, Brett, how you doing, man? I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know people are fired up.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you're busy and getting into Jacksonville and so many different events. First of all, congratulations, and I guess I would like to say thank you for renewing here in the city of Jacksonville along with the Georgia Bulldogs and the city and keeping this game here in Jacksonville a little bit longer.
Well, we're very excited. The Gators have a long-standing history, obviously, with the city of Jacksonville, and this series has a lot of tradition and history here. There's really only 3 college football games that are played every year on a neutral site. You're talking Army, Navy, Texas, Oklahoma, and, of course, Florida, Georgia. So it really sets it apart. There's a ton of tradition, ton of history, and it's really beneficial for both schools, and glad we're able to keep it here a little bit longer.
You know, we had Vince Dooley on the show yesterday, and he said it's one of those games, obviously, everybody loves it here in Jacksonville, and everybody brings up different points about, you know, maybe getting it on campus, recruiting. There are other things that go into it, and City of Jacksonville's done a fantastic job of giving both programs the appropriate dollars and being fair and making it a neutral game and sweetening the pot, if you will. But he also mentioned, hey, this is a game that should be brought up every 3, 4, 5 years and listen to the other talking points. Does everybody bring up great talking points in the meetings that you have about where this game is, where it might end up someday, and how long it stays in Jacksonville?
You know, I think you're always looking to bring value to your season ticket holders. And, that's, you know, there's been news of Georgia in years past creating really good non-conference games and making sure they have good conference games at their home stadium, Sanford Stadium. We play FSU every other year at home, but obviously we're talking to doing home and homes with Utah and Miami and Texas in the out years. So you're always looking to enhance the value of what your season ticket holders are getting when they pay for a season ticket. And I think that's one of the tugs that we all have about where should this game be played. Jacksonville's been super. There's a lot of benefits to playing in Jacksonville. It's financially a positive for us to play the game in Jacksonville every year. But by playing in Jacksonville, we are giving up the opportunity every other year, having a really meaningful game on our home campuses and our home community, Gainesville and Athens. And so I think it's healthy just to balance that, to say, is this still the right thing to continue to play the game in Jacksonville? And for now, obviously, that question was answered in the affirmative.
Yeah, I love it too. And listen, we obviously love. We're a bit biased. We love it in Jacksonville, and so many people do love it. But I get it. You know, I mean, there's always points that come up. Times change, things change, and there's always things that are happening on the table. And speaking of that, as we continue to talk with Scott Strickland, Florida Gators AD, I love what you've done the last few weeks. I love that you posted out there on social media and said, hey, we're looking for some games. We're looking for some Power 5 games. What made you do that? And you got some great responses. I know Oklahoma and Clemson, and do you think it leads to something?
I think it will. Candidly, we can pick up the phone and call our colleagues at other schools, and we have spent the better part of the last 6 to 8 months doing just that. We've called various schools and have had one-off conversations, and sometimes they lead to something, sometimes they don't. You know, I kind of wanted to state our intention, in case people weren't clear, that the Gators do want to make sure we're providing really quality content for our fans and for our athletes to participate in games that they want to participate in. But also, I wanted to create a conversation. I wanted fans from of other schools, maybe who aren't Gator fans, who might see that and think, hey, here's an opportunity for my school to do a home and home with the Florida Gators, and maybe the Gators go somewhere that we don't typically go, and maybe we host somebody that hasn't ever been to the Swamp before. So just to create conversation, I think that's really healthy, and obviously if it leads to better games for our student athletes and for our fans, it's that much better.
Hey there, Scott. Austin Lane here. I come from the philosophy that a college football team is only as good as its head coach, and I think Dan Mullen so far has exceeded expectations by far. I was skeptical, when you guys decided to bring him on, but I think he's, kind of proved all the doubters wrong so far. Just how great of a job has Dan Mullen done in the system so far, kind of taking the Florida Gators to a level that they haven't really seen in the past couple years or so?
Well, obviously the results speak to the quality of the job he's done. But I think it goes beyond wins and losses. We're 17-4 in the time Dan has been our head coach here. But I think the way he's gone about it matters, especially to Gator fans. They like offense, and Dan is one of the best at calling plays, and he's one of the best at developing the most important position on the field, being the quarterback position. So I think that matters to the University of Florida. Maybe more so than other schools. When you drive by Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, there's 3 statues outside of Heisman Trophy winners, and they're all quarterbacks. So that's a really important position in our history, and we're really fortunate to have someone like Dan who does such a great job there at identifying and developing that position. But the other thing Dan does really well is the way he engages with the community, with the campus, with Gator Nation. He makes it, I said this at the press conference when we announced we were looking for a football coach, and a media member asked me what type of coach we were looking for. And I think they were trying to get me to answer offensive or style or something football related. And my answer was, this has got to be fun. A college athletics program exists to engage people back to their university and to bring others into the campus community. And having a football program that not only wins, but does so in a way that makes it fun for people is really important. And I think Dan does such a good job in that area. And the reason he does such a good job is, number one, he doesn't take himself too seriously. He has a personality. He has a sense of humor. But the other thing he does that probably is people don't notice as much, that we see from the inside, is he holds everybody associated with our football program accountable, from the student manager to the quarterback to the assistant coaches, to the academic staff. He sets a standard. He calls it the Gator standard of expectations, and then he follows up to make sure everybody is reaching that standard. And when you have a head coach that is that plugged in across all the different layers of your program and is making sure everybody's doing their very best for the University of Florida, you have a really good chance to be successful.
Florida Gators athletic director Scott Strickland with us, and as you bring that up, you're right. I'm thinking of all the times now. I'm getting all these snapshots, and Dan Mullen is smiling, Scott Strickland is smiling, Gator fans are smiling. It is wins help, but it is fun too. It can be fun. It's sports. It should be fun. So I love that point, and I love that you brought it up when you were looking to hire the coach, and now you fulfilled that, and that's really working out. Just to set the scene here, Scott, with us, we're in RV City. I know you know where that is here in Jacksonville, but we have this little Gator. We have this Gator vehicle behind us. It's called the Slingshot. It's got a big Gator logo. So we brought it right into the picture for you since you were coming on today. And it actually leads your Gator walk there in Gainesville. A couple more home games to come. So we decked out in Gators for you here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 today. And we're on the video side of things as well. It's not just radio. So we brought that to it. And that speaks of Gainesville. You mentioned Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. How are the facilities? Can you give us an update? The baseball stadium, I've seen the pictures that you tweet out. It looks fantastic. That's going to be state-of-the-art. Where are you guys in facilities? I knew you had to play a little bit of catch-up, but are you catching up?
We are, and it's really important that any entity that wants to be successful has to continually invest in its infrastructure. And I know people call it an arms race and that we're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, and there's an element of that, but it's also really important that you make sure you have the infrastructure in place that's going to allow you to be successful. You mentioned baseball. We're going to have an unbelievable ballpark for our national championship caliber baseball program and the great fans that support that. It's $65 million. It's a professional ballpark, and it's going to be something that I think the fans are going to love coming in and supporting the team in. Once that is complete, which will be about 6 to 7 months from now, Next summer, we're going to break ground on the site of the current baseball stadium, which is adjacent to our football practice fields. We're going to break ground on a brand new $85 million football training center, which is going to really put our football program in solid footing from a facility standpoint for decades to come. And we have adequate facilities right now. We have facilities that the facilities we have right now are not preventing us from winning. But in order to give our coaches and our athletes the best chance to be successful long term, this facility is really important. And we're going to break ground next summer. And 2 years from now, we'll be talking about how excited we are to be opening that thing up. And that time's going to come sooner than we realize. And while we're doing those two projects, we're also focused on what we can do to make sure Gator Nation, when they come to the Swamp to cheer on the team on those fall Saturdays, that they have an unbelievable experience. And there's some things we need to do there from an infrastructure standpoint, from a fan amenity standpoint, from a premium seating and more comfortable seating in general standpoint, video board, sound system, all those things that are important. We're going to continue to look at ways to invest in those areas as well.
I'm a neutral bystander. I love listening to you talk about that stuff. I can only imagine Gator fans listening to the show and listening to you speak about it over the years, the months, and again today. They must be getting fired up about that. Really cool. And again, as a neutral guy, I appreciate your transparency and all of it. And I know Gator fans probably do too, in the updates of what's happening there on campus. And while you're talking about that, you got a top 10 basketball team. How cool is that? Basketball season rolling in. You got a top 10 football team, a top 10 basketball team. We already know about your baseball team and all the great sports at Florida, but that basketball program's in pretty good shape, isn't it?
It really is. Mike White has done a phenomenal job, and he's got a great roster this year, and that's a credit to him. It's not easy in this day and age to manage that. We have kids leaving early, transferring out. Mike has done a super job, and we had our first exhibition game the other night, open up against UNF in Gainesville Tuesday night, chance to see them in action. And, the Gators are the only school in the country right now that has a football team ranked in the top 10 and a men's basketball program ranked in the top 10. And it just so happens we're among the top 10 public universities in the country. So that's really important in Gainesville, that we always are measuring ourselves against the very best. And we do it both academically and athletically, and there's not many places that you can genuinely have an opportunity to do that.
Oh, that's really cool. Scott Strickland, the Florida Gators AD, talking with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We'll let you go in just a moment. A programming note, too, you mentioned the basketball game. I think we're going to try to do our show in Gainesville on Tuesday for that University of North Florida against Florida matchup. Might not be right on campus, but somewhere in Gainesville, so we'll keep you posted on that as basketball season begins across the country. All right, you are a Mississippi State Bulldog. Oh, and actually, before you do, I got to ask you. We just went to Gardner Minshew's hometown of Brandon, Mississippi. You're from Jackson. That's not too far away, right?
Yeah, Brandon is a suburb of Jackson. It's all one big area. Yeah, absolutely. Mississippians are really proud of Gardner and what he's been able to do. And, he kind of burst on the scene last year. We all knew about him when he was at East Carolina and before that junior college, and obviously had a great opportunity last year at Washington State. And to have this, another opportunity for the Jags is really cool. And I think Mississippi is kind of caught up in Minshew mania just like Jacksonville is.
Yeah, it's been really fun to follow along. All right, but I do have to tell you now, in my neighborhood here in Jacksonville, my neighbors are big Mississippi State fans. Like on the show here, we ring the bell sometimes for Mississippi State. So I try to keep them away from the show, and they don't love the fact that they lost you and Dan Mullen, but they do like you. They just didn't like the fact that they lost you because they like Mississippi State so much. But how has your transition been to being a Gator and kind of like not liking Georgia in this game, like kind of new to this kind of rivalry? Like, do you allow yourself? Does that grow fast? Does that just happen overnight? Does it take a few years? I mean, they have beat you a couple times in a row now.
Yeah, I've been in the SEC for over 25 years at 4 different schools. You mentioned I went to Mississippi State, but I worked at Auburn for 5 years early in my career. And Auburn and Georgia, have a bit of a rivalry as well. So I have no problem rooting against a lot of people in the SEC when my school lines up against them, and I certainly have no trouble. Have had no trouble rooting for the Gators to beat Georgia anytime we get the chance to. In fact, our women's soccer team is wrapping up the regular season tonight in Athens, so we have another before Saturday, we have another opportunity to pull for the Gators against the Bulldogs. But, to me, that's one of the things that makes the SEC so special. These 14 schools are all so competitive. They're so good, but you have these storylines and these rivalries and these histories that go back for so long, and it really adds a lot of color and a lot of texture. And I love being a Mississippi State Bulldog. I'm proud I have a degree there. I still claim ownership of Mississippi State. In fact, I have a daughter who's a student there right now. But I have really loved being a Florida Gator, and Florida is one of those places that when you compete against them, you have a lot of respect for them, and getting a chance to kind of cross over and wear the orange and blue and do the Gator job has been just been awesome, and something I feel fortunate to be a part of. And one of the reasons you feel fortunate to be at the University of Florida is be able to participate in games like we're going to have Saturday, where you have a great rivalry, 2 top 10 programs competing for a pretty significant outcome, and to do it in a great city like Jacksonville.
Hey, Scott, so I know you're probably kind of biased right now, but you said you spent some time in Auburn. So in terms of the Florida-Georgia game, comparing it to the Iron Bowl, where does that stack up to?
Oh, they're so different, and the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl, any of those in-state deals, kind of like our game with Florida State, those are a different level from the standpoint of they're almost unhealthy, because it's 24/7, 365 kind of stuff. I love the Florida-Georgia rivalry because I know here in Jacksonville there's a lot of Georgia people and obviously a lot of Gators and they interact on a day-to-day basis. But you got 2 great states represented. I think this is really unique, and the fact that it is in Jacksonville at a neutral site every year adds another level to it. I love rivalries. I think that's what makes college athletics really fun, really special, and there aren't many that take a back seat to Florida, Georgia.
Well, we appreciate your time. I know you're extremely busy. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Can't wait to see you the next couple of days, and good luck on Saturday here in Jacksonville.
Thanks so much, guys. Go Gators.
Scott Strickland, the Florida Gators athletic director. He's a cool guy. I can't sit here and tell you I know him really well. I've met him a few times now. We've hosted the Florida Georgia luncheon, the Hall of Fame luncheon. Just a really good guy, and I love the transparency. Yeah. A lot of times in the college programs, it feels like it's Fort Knox. There's this barrier, and I love his transparency. Him going on social media and saying, hey, let's go get some more big games. And by the way, speaking of big games, Alabama and Florida State, home and home, just announced today. That will happen in 2025 and 2026. We're going to take a time out here live from RV City. Once again, all our interviews this week presented by Palm Beach Autographs. Thanks to Scott Strickland for coming on the program. We come back, a little ballin' and fallin' here on a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
We welcome Mike Leach to the show, giving you a scenario that in September of 2019, week 2 of the NFL season, Gardner Minshew would be the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars or a grad coach somewhere else. Which would you?
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we can have and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Auto accidents are tough enough, but can be downright scary if the other car leaves the scene before the police arrive. You may still be able to make a claim if there's available uninsured motorist coverage. Call us to help ease the fear and help you present your claim. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation. That's 904-600-4000.
Office in Jacksonville.
Our partners at BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country, would like to thank all of the coaches out there who truly are the heart of the game. While BSN Sports is the best at equipping athletes with a one-stop shop for everything needed to run an athletic program, coaches are best at equipping lives. And that's the real final score. Learn more about how BSN Sports can save you time off the field so you can impact more lives on it by calling your local BSN Sports sales professional or by visiting bsnsports.com today.
We love our pets. Our furry little friends mean so much to us that we want nothing but the best. At Forever Vets Animal Hospital, we feel the same way too. Forever Vets Animal Hospital understands that you have busy schedules. That's why we're open 7 days a week and have extended hours during the work week. In case you have an emergency, remember, stay calm and call Forever Vets Animal Hospital with 6 convenient locations throughout Jacksonville and St. Augustine. Forever Vets Animal Hospital is here for you and your pet. First-time customers receive a free pet exam from one of our highly trained veterinarians. We also offer wellness plans that fit everyone's budget. Forever Vets Animal Hospital makes life easy for you and your pet. Go to forevervets.com to schedule an appointment. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets healthy and happy forever.
Save now at Travel Camp RV with payments as low as $107 a month and no payments for 90 days. It's fall fun season. Time to get out with family and friends in an RV from Travel Camp, where you get the guaranteed lowest price every time. Travel Camp specializes in towables, which keeps the costs lower and the prices lower than all the rest. Since 1982, they've helped more families make more great memories. Shop now and save at Travel Camp RV.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I'm sitting with the defense by the lunch table. He goes, Austin, come over here. I'm like, Alex Smith knows my name. That's pretty cool to start things off with. And then all of a sudden, me and Alex Smith are talking about. But I'm saying the culture, it manifested on itself.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick and Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Give the guys a call. Grab your cell phone and call *690. This is ESPN 690.
Yeah, I think we've had a really good 2 to 3 weeks of practice, since the South Carolina game, and a lot of opportunities for us to kind of look at ourselves, get better at, just a lot of different things. Just being cleaner as an offense, understand what we're trying to do, the physicality of what we're trying to do, being cleaner, executing on certain different plays. I mean, we can name a numerous amount of things, but I think we're ready to go out and show what we've been working on, and it's a great time to go do it.
That's Jake Fromm, who's been, I think you could classify maybe in a mini slump for the Georgia Bulldogs, and we'll see if he pulls out of it here Saturday against the Florida Gators. He has played well in big games. South Carolina wasn't that big of a game, and he wasn't very good. We're going to talk more about that on the wall that says it all coming up in just about an hour. We also have Aaron Murray, and he talks about Jake Fromm a little bit. That's coming up around 4:40 or so here on the show. Brent Martineau along with Stuart Weber.
Hello, all.
You packed and ready to go? You got your pillow? It's about a, 9-hour flight on the way over?
Yeah, it's like 8.5 on the way there. I never bring a neck pillow or anything like that. I just roll with it.
I had the neck pillow, right? One of the first years. Steph and the kids bought
You're talking about London, by the way, for those who don't know.
Yeah. London Jags going in about an hour, and Stewart's going with them. And one of the early years, Steph and the kids got me a neck pillow, and I had never used it. And so I used it on the way over. Well, our bags were so packed, and it was one of the first times we went over, so you got some souvenirs and stuff, and I just couldn't fit anything else in my bag. I was like, sorry, I got to leave the neck pillow. I mean, the neck pillow lasted a flight over, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Hope it wasn't expensive.
I hope not, too. The only neck pillow I would view as acceptable would be a Jacksonville Jumbo shrimp-looking neck pillow. One of the greatest giveaways in minor league baseball history.
And if you went to the Action Sports Jack Stream 18, I think
there was a possibility.
There
of
were some of those,
there.
right?
Yeah,
and there was also that was the ramen.
And then you had the ramen pillow.
That's what I was thinking. We had those out.
Yeah, the neck pillow is the way to go.
All right. Yeah. Well, here's the deal, man. London, you've been there many a times. Do you buy into the Jags have an advantage? Houston hasn't been. Do you buy into that stuff? If you did the last 4 years, 3 of the times you might have been right. There was a couple of teams that hadn't gone over, and they put a whooping on. Baltimore's a great example. But then last year they lost, and Philadelphia hadn't been over there.
Yeah, I think if there is one, it is minute, and it might just be inside your head.
Yeah, probably.
If you look good, play good kind of thing. If you feel like you have the advantage, you have the advantage. One of those sorts of situations. But there's a lot of rookies in very important places on this Jaguars team, and none of them have done this. I saw a stat. The Jaguars have the second most snaps from rookies in the NFL this season.
That makes sense.
And it does make sense when you're quarterback and one of your tackles. And
think if Josh Oliver was healthy the whole time. Would even
then
be
you'd
more.
have your tight end as well, and obviously Josh Allen with a lot of snaps.
Quincy Williams has had a lot of snaps.
So a lot of snaps from rookies. Those guys haven't made this trip, but they do have some very experienced veteran players who they can kind of lean on and learn from, including Nick Foles for Gardner Minshew. So you can certainly talk to him about that.
I was curious about that. Never asked. I mean, Foles making the trip over.
Yes.
That sucks. I mean, imagine knowing that you can't play and making the trip over. I mean, it's not as.
But at the same time, his Saturday is not as bad.
Yeah,
and then you can maybe go enjoy it a little more, knowing that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to worry about playing.
Know.
Hey, we had a good story yesterday. That was a fun shoot. We've done a lot of stories.
Yes.
We had Chris Conley. We had Terry Godwin. We had Avery Jones, Taven Bryan, Lorente McCray, and Jawan Taylor. And they all
the dogs and gators.
All the dogs and gators. We're going to have the story coming up on Saturday. And we had set this whole thing up. GoPro, Steadicam, a boom mic, camera off the phone, another camera, another mic. And it was like the worst orchestrated shoot ever by the time these guys got after it. They just blew the whole thing up, but it was awesome.
We had a lot of plans. None of those plans came to fruition. They just it turned into complete and utter chaos for 6 minutes. And then I had to edit that 6 minutes of chaos down to a TV-sized story of 2 minutes, which proved to be quite challenging, but fun because, like you said, it's just trash talking for 6 minutes, and it was awesome.
Hey, you're a Gator, so you're picking Florida, but what's the score?
I think it's going to be close. I think I'll say Gators by 3. Let's go 27-24.
All right, have a good trip across the pond. Sleep well tonight, and we'll see all Stewart's work all weekend long on CBS 47 and Fox 30, and probably call in tomorrow here on the show from London.
Yep.
All right, when we come back, we're going to give away this Gardner Minshew shirt. How about that? It's on the way next. A little more football talk on ESPN 690.
See, boss, look at all these great masks, and they got them marked down for their after Halloween sale. These make great disguises for breaking into houses.
Oh, yeah. It's perfectly normal for a big guy in a Spider-Man mask to be lurking around the neighborhood.
I wouldn't be lurking.
Whatever. Just make sure you don't go near any Safe Touch houses. Those things aren't safe for us crooks.
Hey, before I forget, that house we've been casing, when are those folks going out of town again?
Black Friday. And since they don't have Safe Touch security, we don't have to worry.
Yeah, no Safe Touch means no two-way communicator or crash and smash technology, no video monitoring.
And no headaches for me.
Here, look. What do you think of my new mask?
It's definitely an improvement.
Thanks.
You find another house without Safe Touch and the mask is on me.
Consider it done.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want healthy sex, your body needs nitric oxide. And now you can boost your nitric oxide production faster than you thought possible with Ageless Male Tonight, the absurdly fast formula from the #1 brand in male enhancement. Just take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically tested ingredients that rapidly boost nitric oxide production, and it won't go unnoticed. Rush to Walmart and get Ageless Male Tonight.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to ESPN 690.
Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. In July last year, Mike Matheny was fired after managing the St. Louis Cardinals for 6.5 seasons. Now he'll get a chance on the other side of the state. Matheny is the new manager of the Kansas City Royals. Ned Yost retired after 9 years in the Kansas City dugout. The Yankees will not pick up a $20 million option for next year on Edwin Encarnacion. He'll get a $5 million buyout and become a free agent. Encarnacion was traded to New York from Seattle in June, but missed the last 2 months of the season with an oblique injury. Steph Curry of the Warriors had a CT scan on his broken left hand today. Curry took a hard fall last night after a collision with Aaron Baines of the Suns. ESPN's Jay Williams.
I heard a lot of fans last night, well, they should tank. You won't need the tank. You're in the West. Yeah. Like, the West is loaded. And D'Lo is really good. Draymond Green's really good. But I also think this could be a blessing in disguise for the Warriors.
Jay Williams on Get Up. No word yet if Curry will need surgery or how long he'll be out. The 49ers try to keep their unbeaten season rolling tonight in Arizona against the Cardinals.
Brought to you by Little Caesars, where you can get a large thin crust pizza topped right to the edge with cheese and pepperoni, and only $6.49 at participating Little Caesars locations, plus tax where applicable.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think it's a big game, not only for me, but for our team and where we're at in the season right now. And I think we're treating it as the biggest game of the season just because it's our next game, and we're going to do our best to just execute at a high level and play to our standard.
Well, that's Kyle Trask, the Florida Gators quarterback, and he has played extremely well for the Gators, even in a loss in LSU. I think Kyle Trask played fantastic football for the most part. And can he play in this kind of game? See, these games are different now. It's not the regular game. LSU at night, that was a different game, and I thought he performed well. But even this one will have a different feel. This one is the rivalry. This one is split down the middle. This one's neutral site. All the talk around this one. And I think the expectation's different. See, if you go back a couple of weeks, Florida, in the position they were in, and I don't want to say it was okay if they lost, but they had a mulligan in their back pocket.
Yeah.
Because everything really is about this game and winning the East. And, yeah, if you were undefeated, you'd be in better shape. But you could afford to go to Baton Rouge, in a place that people have trouble with at night, especially against, well, the number one team in the country right now, and have a good showing but still lose. And that's what happened to them. But now this is different because the pressure builds for Georgia, for Florida. If they want to go to where they have set out at the beginning of the year, they need to win this football game. And so I wonder from his mindset, does that pressure build? Can he play well and perform with that pressure around him? I think it'll be a different type of test for Kyle Trask.
It absolutely will be, and I think the same could be said for Fromm as well, because if you go back to that South Carolina game, they put pressure on him in the first quarter, and then after that, he just wasn't the same quarterback anymore. He was almost kind of gun-shy a little bit, I guess you would call it. So I think it's a great question for both quarterbacks, but obviously Fromm being the highly touted recruit and everything, and for the most part this season, I don't think he's really lived up to that name so far. So, this is an interesting environment playing in Jacksonville, obviously. This is one of their biggest games of the season, if not the biggest game. So I think there's going to be pressure on both quarterbacks, one to perform to what he's supposed to be doing, and then the other quarterback just kind of going in another new environment as a starter and be asked to, lead the Florida Gators, basically.
The only thing I feel like is a little bit different for Fromm is he's played in the big games before. These are not, these new games are not, listen, Trask didn't play in high school. He didn't play.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to wonder how you handle those situations. And quite honestly, you've played before. You've stepped in a cage before. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't know how you're going to feel until the moment you get in. Yeah. Until you get in a tough spot, a different spot, or whatever spot. So I don't even know if he knows what it will be like, what the butterflies might be like, what he'll feel like that day on Saturday in about 48 hours.
Yeah, listen, being a neutral site, it's always a different environment, something I'm not really accustomed to playing at, obviously. But I feel like if you can go into Death Valley, at night, one of the biggest crowds in college football, and perform pretty damn well, I think you're going to be okay, in Jacksonville. But obviously every single game is different. But I think what we've seen so far, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C for Kyle Trask, I think he's shown that even though he doesn't have a lot of experience in starting, I think he's going to be up to the challenge.
Yeah, I think that's a good point and a fair point. And I just wonder if it will feel any different to him in this game. By the way, speaking of performing, are you all right? You're sweating up a storm.
Dude, first of all, it's a little humid out here. This could be like a record-setting day, I feel like, in Jacksonville weather.
I think they said it is, but there is a bit of a breeze, sometimes some cloud cover. Tell
I
me the
don't
real
feel
reason
it.
you're sweating, man.
I don't
You're
feel
just
it.
throwing the football around.
Well, oh, yeah.
You want to be a quarterback.
We're slinging the pigskin around a little bit, man. Me and Ty, we're probably about a good 10 minutes of just nonstop gunslinging. So, yeah, I'm a little gassed right now. My heart rate is still probably in the red zone, but we're going to be all right.
Who's better at throwing the football, you or Kaylee?
Ooh. I don't want to call anybody out because I actually like Kaylee. I mean, Ty's coming around to me now. He was talking some smack about the Murray State Racers back in college basketball season. I'm starting to forgive him a little bit now. Ty's got a pretty good cannon himself, so I think right now we're on common ground until another little comment comes out of him.
He's getting a little brave now.
Oh, yeah,
he's getting a little bigger. So
feeling a little comfortable, Brent. Feeling a little comfortable around here.
Anyway, throwing the football, that's what it's all about here at RV City,
I know,
man. You get to hang out a little and let loose and throw the football around and grill out. That's really where we're not doing it well enough. We needed some more people to bring some food and grill out and all the rest of it.
Yep.
But there's so much going on between Action Sports Jack's Game of the Week on ESPN 690 tonight at Mandarin against Fletcher. And then tomorrow we've got more high school football and TV specials. So we got to kind of do it a little
Halloween
bit
as well, Brent.
On Halloween,
about that either,
you know,
too.
that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps reminding me it's Halloween. I got to be completely honest with you.
You could care less.
I could care less, and I forget.
Okay.
This is a great part of it, actually. Somebody brought up yesterday, and they got on me on Twitter. No, I brought it up, really.
Yeah.
Did you see the Washington Nationals fans? They were at the stadium in the rain watching the game.
I didn't see this.
All right, so during the broadcast, they show all, you know, how they do that now, right?
Yeah.
They'll go to arenas and they'll go to other stadiums and watch the game. And so I was like, I just don't get that. Like, I don't. If you showed me the football game, like in London, and you said, come on down to the stadium and watch the game.
Yeah.
And while I understand, okay, that might be fun, watch it on the big boards and the Jumbotron, all that stuff, I kind of get it. But I sure as heck wouldn't do it if it was pouring down rain and there's no game going on right there, and they're not coming back to the stadium to say hello. So what people brought up on social media, like, you're not a sports fan then. No. I can watch it from my couch. I could watch it at a bar.
Yeah.
I could watch it in all these other places. Now, if it's like the Jags when they beat Pittsburgh and they were coming back to the stadium, well, that's a different story. You come meet the team back and it's rally, and that's different. But to watch it, I know everybody does it now, and it's okay. Like, if you like it, that's okay. I'm just saying I would not have any part of doing that, and I sure as heck wouldn't do it if it was pouring down rain and I got to watch it in a poncho.
Well, I can understand it, Brent, right? Because it's some people go to concerts instead of just, listening to music at home. I mean, people want to be around other people and in that environment. You know, it's kind of like you submerge yourself, in kind of like the fandom for a night. So I can definitely get people's opinions. Now, is it for me? Maybe not so much, but I can definitely get people's take on it, why they do it.
Okay, so along those same lines, by the way, we will give away this Gardner Minshew T-shirt in just a minute, but I'm teasing you and making you stay on with us if you're just jumping in for that. You can't use us without me using you. So we're going to give away the T-shirt in just a bit. It's size large. Do you fit in the large? Is that your size?
No, that's kind of an
large?
insult. I'm definitely an extra large kind of guy, Brent.
I'm an extra large in November. Usually a large. So along those lines, again, this is not me criticizing anybody. In fact, this part of me is beyond my belief.
Okay. I'm almost careful now. Because it sounds like you're getting ready to badmouth Halloween.
I am. I don't understand. No, I'm not bad-mouthing it.
Okay.
This is more of a me problem.
Okay.
Okay?
This is a
because
Brett
I
Martineau
look
problem.
around and I'm like, you guys, why? Why does everybody love Halloween the way they love Halloween? And I almost respect the heck out of it that it's as fun for all these people. I walk into work today and all these people are dressed up.
Yeah.
And there's candy. And they're like going trick-or-treating like in the offices. Like, did we grow out of that yet? Are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Like, there's no kids around.
Well, from that perspective, I get what you're saying. Like, I'm the last guy to dress up right now and go trick-or-treating, like, in the office. Like, that's not my style. But, like, it was such a pivotal part of my childhood. I mean, I'm sure you can attest the same thing, but, like, Halloween as a kid, and I'm not sure, like, if you're from a smaller town, I assume. So, like, Halloween for a small-town kid back in, like, the 90s, it was the best because it was, like, the only night you could actually go out by yourself with your friends and literally just tear up the town. It was like Mad Max Beyond Thunder Road, man. Like, it was literally, we made the rules, and there was cliques and everything, and there's some houses that had the candy where you just kind of go up and says just grab one. No, of course you're gonna grab the whole bowl. So we had we had to have some strategy involved. Where all right, when the sun goes down, we're going to this house first because that's where the bowl is gonna be. We take the whole bowl. Screw the other little trick-or-treaters. The candy's all ours. So, dude, there was strategy. There was friendships. There was betrayal. There was everything on Halloween night, man. I loved Halloween as a kid, and now here's the cool thing. Yeah, I'm not going to dress up myself and go trick-or-treating, but I have a son who's 4 years old, and he's all about Halloween now, so I can live vicariously through him. So that's why I'm such a big fan of it.
Well, more power to you. Listen, I get the kid stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I understand. I'm not hating on the kid. When I was a kid, I dressed up as the Incredible Hulk 4 years in a row, and I loved it. And I loved the candy, and I like going out. And you're right, the school night and all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
The problem with Halloween up north, though, a little bit, was it felt like it always rained in a cold rain up north. Now, today, it's here. I'd hate to have a costume on.
I know. This isn't Halloween weather, man.
I mean, it's so hot.
It's not Halloween
it's
weather.
90 degrees. Going to break records.
Yep.
So, whatever. Again, I don't have a problem with if you like Halloween. I just don't understand. I fully don't grasp why people love Halloween the way they do. And I'm a little bit different like that. It's more on me. I understand. And I love candy. Love it. I mean, I love candy.
Yeah.
I really am not into the dressing up stuff.
Yep.
But I think a part of this, why I don't probably appreciate it as much, is because I'm like a pop culture moron. And so everybody who dresses up like as characters.
You don't get who they are.
Like Chris Conley the other day on Jags Report Live, he's telling me like what characters like he would dress up from Star Wars. I'm like, who is that? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
You see, by the way, Tom Brady dressed up Stormtrooper.
Saw that. But by the way, Tom Brady, you're a multi-million-dollar man married to Giselle. Go ahead and splurge for like the real Star Wars gun. He was using a Nerf gun.
Oh, was it?
The blaster. Yeah, come on. Step your game up, Tom.
But did you see the picture on of Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Now listen,
Black Panther.
He
is the Black Panther, by the way.
Dude, that was impressive.
Very impressive.
Now,
gotta be warm.
Here's the deal: if you're going to go and do it, well, then do it.
Yes.
Go all out.
Thank you.
And on Jaguars All Access last night, Calais Campbell said, hey, yeah, the rookies have to dress up.
Yep.
I said, they have to dress up all the way to London? He said, well, not really, just like during the day and on the bus, and then they can change if they want. But that's a heck of it. That was a Black Panther outfit. If you haven't seen that, I think I retweeted it too.
Yep.
And Calais Campbell did.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
That's awesome, man. So, quick question for you. Go-to Halloween candy, what is it?
Man, I like so much
I know, but you can only have one.
I mean,
Brent.
already today I've had Skittles, Starburst, Milk Duds, and Hershey Bar, and Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's what I've already had today.
Okay. Quite the accoutrement you got going on there.
I really do like Skittles. I'm like Marshawn
Skittles,
Lynch.
huh? Okay.
I'm Marshawn Lynch. I'm missing something. Just don't give me I love fruit snacks, but I don't want them for Halloween.
I got you. That makes sense. And you don't want apples, obviously, either. Don't be one of those houses that hands out apples.
No, gosh.
Yeah.
No, throw it back at them.
Well,
no, don't do that. I'm just kidding.
No, but and here's the thing, too. So me and my son, we have a game plan, and he better stick to this game plan. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Anytime there's a bag full of candy, you grab the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups for your pops. You grab yourself something if you want it, but I'm getting Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. If he does not grab the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, he has to go back to the door and get it again.
What's the worst? It has to be Almond Joy and Mounds.
Oh, yeah, coconut?
Nah.
Come on, coconut as a kid? See, to me, coconut's like Pink Floyd. It takes time to adapt to it. It takes time to appreciate it. Don't give a kid coconut when he's in middle school.
Remind me what Ronan is again?
He's going to be Lego Ninjago, which
that's
is
right.
basically a ninja.
Hey, someone just said on Periscope, us real Americans like Auburn and Reese's.
Yeah.
Like the Tigers. Speaking of, we'll talk a little Auburn and Joey Gatewood in just a moment. Kuz, what's your go-to Halloween costume? Favorite one you've ever worn?
Costume?
Yeah. I know you
Justin
do this.
Bieber
Dude,
once.
you just did something the other day. Where were you?
I was
Bam
Fred
Bam.
Flintstone. Bam Bam, I mean.
There you
yeah.
go. Bam Bam. You weren't Fred Flintstone. You were Bam Bam.
That still wasn't my favorite, though.
What's your favorite one you said?
I went as Justin Bieber once. I kind of pulled it off pretty well.
Did you?
Yeah.
How many people everybody's got to send me pictures. There's got to be a ton of Gardner Minshew's today.
Oh, without a doubt.
There were
man.
3 at the
That's gotta be
party
the
on
high top.
Saturday.
I mean, and it's easy.
Yeah.
We've been Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. I mean, I've been Gardner Minshew. I don't even know I'm Gardner Minshew sometimes. I rock jean shorts.
Speaking of, let's give away the shirt, okay? You can find these shirts on Big Cat Country and I think BreakingT.com as well. BreakingT.com is the one that makes it, but you can find them on Big Cat Country. They gave us a few to give away this week. And the legend of Gardner Minshew II Let's go caller number. Ty, give me a number. 1 through 8. 7. Caller number 7. Keep Coos busy. 904-362. What's the number, Coos? Not 9988. That's the hotline number.
Star 690.
Star 690. Hey, the number's right on our screen. 362-9901. I had 9988 in my mind. 362-9901 or star 690. There's a lot going on this week. Just win a free Gardner Minshew shirt. Will you? Call us. Caller number 7 right now. We'll be back. And I will talk a little Auburn football and Joey Gatewood when we come back.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
This will be the hottest Halloween on record under partly cloudy skies, temperatures soaring to near 90 degrees, a few scattered afternoon and evening showers. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's Wedding Band BOGO sale, 4 days only, November 7th through the 10th.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
There is one name synonymous with joint replacement excellence, and that name is Heekin of the Heekin Clinic. For 18 years, Dr. R. David Heekin and his staff have been the leader for treatment of hip and knee pain. Eliminating hip and knee pain through advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques has been Dr. Heekin's sole goal since retiring from the Army in 2001. If you're looking to ease your hip and knee pain, schedule an appointment today and call 328-5979 or visit HeekinClinic.com. That's HeekinClinic.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota CHR, it's not $22,660. Now it's only $17,988. That's $17,988 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota CHR at Arlington Toyota. How about a Toyota Tacoma? It's not $29,635. No way. It's just $23,888. $23,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
I don't know what would make him think I would care about it. I don't give a damn whether I'm blocked on Instagram or not. Not like I tried to Instagram him directly. Ain't nobody thinking about trying to post something on his page.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Ryan Murphy, Olympic gold medalist. You're watching Action Sports Jacks.
Well, it's a chess match every time you go against somebody, but it boils down a lot more to players than it does X's and O's. He always has a very physical football team. They believe and they have a commitment to the run game. They always seem like they have downhill, low center of gravity backs, very similar to what he has now.
That's Kirby Smart, Georgia Bulldogs football coach, and he's done a fantastic job at Georgia, no doubt about it. Can he win the big one, though? He's been able to win this one. This is a big one. Yep. But can he win the big one? Still to be determined for the Georgia Bulldogs. Of course, they haven't won a national championship since 1980, and that with Vince Dooley, who we had on the show yesterday. Earlier, we had Scott Strickland, the Florida Gators AD, and coming up, we've got some fun things lined up for you here. Aaron Murray, former Georgia Bulldog quarterback, he will join us in just a little bit. Then Austin's going to go back to the station. I'll do that interview. Waldet Says It All coming up at 5 o'clock with Florida, Georgia twist to it. And then Austin will take it home and hand off to us when we get to Mandarin High School for our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. A lot of moving parts right now here on Florida, Georgia Week. The Jags are taking off for London in just a couple of moments. And, of course, we've got some high school football on Thursday and Friday. They always do that. Thursday games in Duval County because of the Florida-Georgia week, and they just can't get enough security at all the games. So that's become an annual thing. And it's Halloween night as well. Hopefully someone just won a new Legend of Gardner Minshew shirt. We'll give away another one of those. Theo won, okay. Give another one of those away tomorrow. And speaking of giving away, Kuz, I saw you tweeted out, we have a couple of tickets to give away tomorrow morning at Intuition Ale. Golick and Wingo will be there doing their show live from Jacksonville, just right down the road, Intuition Ale. And we will be there as well. Kuz, you're over there. Austin's going to join us.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Which one of us forgets to set an alarm?
I just don't know if I'm going to sleep, man. I get off TV about 11:30, and so I got to be there at 5:30. You know how that works.
Somebody get Brent a coffee.
I might just come down to the RV. They do need a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever here in downtown Jacksonville.
Sure.
Can we get that soon? Can we get Lot J built so we can get some coffee right near the stadium? Please. I need that to
shoot over Urban Grind. They've got great coffee.
They do, but that's not just like a shoot over, John.
It's not that far.
John, I'm on a tight time schedule, and I'm late everywhere I go. I mean, I just heard the
All right,
traffic is horrendous, by the way, getting down to Mandarin. So who knows if I'll even make the start of that football game.
Take the slingshot, man, and just go off-road a little bit. This thing's trail rated. You'll be all right.
Hey, by the way, PolarisSlingshot.com, the place to go if you want to win. Speaking of winning, we're giving away everything.
Yeah.
And Polaris Slingshot is really giving away this. But PolarisSlingshot.com, or you can see them on Twitter at Slingshot. Follow along on our Twitter pages, and we've been tweeting out the link. But you can enter to win a ride in this and 2 tickets to a Gator game, and you lead the Gator Walk in a game in Gainesville. There's only 2 more home games to go, but this is a cool ride. Got a chance to ride it the last couple of days, and it was pretty fun. As you heard, John Bachman is around. What's happening, Box?
Hey, guys, you guys haven't gotten wet today yet, have you?
No, are we supposed to?
Well, the rain is kind of all around. It's kind of hopping here and there, and
Really?
Burge is tracking that to keep an eye on the trick-or-treaters
We're
for
looking
everybody.
around like, what are you talking about? It is like blue skies and beautiful, so that
Yeah.
thing must be avoiding us.
There's a line. If I'm looking at the Action News Jack's First Alert weather app right now, just to make sure that I'm not talking crazy, and it is west of Tallahassee right now, so we're good. But it's coming this way for tonight. Burge is going to time that out for you so that you can, track your trick-or-treaters. And there's some stuff happening up in Georgia right now, southeast Georgia. So anybody listening up in Kingsland area might be getting wet. But you guys are good, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that because I wouldn't want you guys to get wet.
Well, we are under a tent, but so that's okay.
I am sweating, John, so it's not a big deal. Yeah.
It is hot. Record-breaking heat. In fact, I think we hit, what did Mike say? Was it 91 today? Anyway, either way, it's a record today. We set a record, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm not a weather
and then
guy.
it's going to be beautiful on the weekend, so that's awesome.
It's going to be fantastic. I think the football game should be really nice. And I know you guys, was Stewart's on his way to the Jags game in London, is that right?
He is. He just left here, and he's over there now. I think the buses roll out of there at 5 o'clock.
And Russell Colburn is going to be going over there for us for the news team. And so we'll be covering, all things Jags. And I think the mayor's over there right now as well. We got a lot brewing coming up on Action News Jackson 5, including, have you guys seen the Uber and Lyft drivers all around you there?
They
I
are
active right now, as you might have guessed. This
Austin,
is a busy
what's
time.
Up? Get back in the saddle, man.
I know.
Fire up the account, dude.
I'm kind of contemplating right now, man. Do we do it tonight? Maybe make a little extra scratch?
What's the surcharge?
Not a little.
Oh,
you guys,
surge is going to be like times 6.
Yeah, it's going to be
I'm
huge.
going to be rolling in it. Yeah, I might have to do it.
What would that cost somebody to get, say, from RV City to, I don't know, like one of the hotels on the south side just for kicks and giggles?
Yeah, no problem. So if we're talking about like a surge rating and maybe a ×4, ×5, which I suspect with Halloween and Florida Georgia weekend,
easily,
you're looking at about probably a $45 ride at least.
Wow. And so normally that's like $10, you're saying?
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Well, hey, that's way better than a DUI, so let's go with that.
You better believe it.
Yeah, that's a good call. Hey, man, what are the girls going to be for Halloween?
Oh, I was really hoping you wouldn't ask me that so I wouldn't look like a really bad dad because
I love when
honest,
I'm a bad dad. I have no idea like who their teachers are, what they're going to be, all that stuff. You have no idea. I'm impressed, in fact. That's like an attaboy for me that you don't know. I'm kind of excited.
I could take some educated guesses, but I truly don't know very well. I know that my middle child had a Nick Foles jersey and a sling at one point in time.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's a little aggressive.
Really pouring it on.
I know.
I mean, is that like pro Minshew crowd or
That's
what?
what it sounds like.
I look at it as just the facts. But, I don't know what she's actually going as. And then the other thing we didn't do this year that we always do is carve pumpkins. We've carved pumpkins every year for as long as I've had kids, basically, and we didn't even do that this year. It's just been crazy, man. They're just too busy. I don't see my kids much anymore.
Well, you were in Italy. Quite frankly, you left them.
I abandoned my children. I am a lousy dad. Thanks, Brent. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, I do it all football season, man. Somebody's got to jump in on it.
So, I don't know the answer to your question. But, yeah, they're trick-or-treating for sure. And I'm going to raid their candy stash late tonight, actually.
Wow, very good. All right, man. Have a fun night. Hope the girls have a fun night. And 5 until 7 o'clock, check out Action News Jack, CBS 47, Fox 30. And then don't forget, tonight at 11 as well, we'll have football on Fox 30 tonight, the Thursday night game of the week.
49ers going to win again, by the way.
Yeah, keep an eye on this, though. I think Arizona's going to give them a run.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think that's going to be a cakewalk like everybody thinks.
Side action?
Well, I'll take the points. It's like 9.5.
Off the books? We going off the books on this one?
Off the books on this one? You're going to take the points and take the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think it's 9.5. I'll take the 9.5.
Kuz, put it down off the books.
All right, let's do it. For fun,
right.
Off the books.
Well, for Skittles or something, man. It's Halloween.
I'll have whatever Austin owes me. We'll just transfer it over to you if I lose.
Very good.
One handshake coming at you.
All right,
I like it.
Venmo.
Venmo it is.
All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
John Bachman, Taniki Hughes, Mike Burrish. Catch him tonight, tomorrow, every day on CBS 47 and Fox 30. And, of course, Mike Burrish will have your first alert forecast. And it will be a hot one tonight, but a better one tomorrow and Saturday here in Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game. One more time, I want to let you know about our friends at Joytel, joytel.net. Fiber and fixed wireless solutions for businesses of all sizes. Don't get lost in the masses with big box phone and cable companies. Local solutions from local people, because internet is the most important communications tool in your company. It is all we do, and we are coming live to you from RV City this week because of Joytel, and you can check them out, joytel.net. You can do it as well, especially for your business. All right, did you see the news on Joey Gatewood, former Bartram Trail star, Auburn Tiger, loses the job to Bo Nix, freshman. And there's a lot of tentacles to this story. But we like the local guys. This is an extreme talent. We remember hearing stories about Joey Gatewood when he was in 8th grade. People like, look, wait until you see this kid. And he was fantastic at Bartram Trail. And he committed early to Auburn, like as a freshman. Keeps his commitment, really never wavered from his commitment even a bit.
Sure.
And you know how that works. I'm sure people were trying to get him to waver. Mm-hmm. Goes to Auburn, redshirt year. This year has a chance at that job. Bo Nix beats him out. I think it was pretty close. Bo Nix has played. Auburn, has been a top 15 team, top 10 a couple of times. And to be honest with you, I don't really think Bo Nix is playing great football. I mean, he's got like a 50% or 45% completion rate. He's had moments. He had that Oregon game.
Yeah.
If you looked at the Oregon game to start the year, you're like, well, that was clutch down the stretch. But if you looked at the game in its totality, he really wasn't that great that day. And he struggled at times, and especially in these losses. So it's made us wonder, it's like, all right, what's up with Joey Gatewood? Does he not know the system very well? Why isn't he playing, given a chance to play? Wouldn't you try to throw somebody else in there if your quarterback's not playing great, especially if you're a top 10 team and everything's on the line? So it's been a little bit curious and mysterious. Well, then it comes out, and this does not, there's no cause and effect here or relationship to why he wasn't playing. I still don't know that answer. But Joey Gatewood, frustrated, obviously, and is transferring, has put his name in the transfer portal, and is no longer on the team at Auburn. And that brings up an interesting part of this. It's okay if you're going to transfer, right? But I think from the outside looking in, we look back at Kelly Bryant, and there was some noise about that last year and said, wait a minute, why is he transferring at this point in the season?
Sure.
It's a month in. Are you quitting on your team? Well, Kelly Bryant's situation, he had to go or he had no more eligibility. If he left, he could redshirt and then catch on with another team like he did with Missouri and play another year. And that gives him a chance at the NFL potentially. So he had no other choice to continue his career, or he really would take in the bullet for this team and be on the team. And I understood that one. I wonder a little bit more about this one because he's already used his redshirt year, but he's obviously frustrated with the situation. And so it does kind of, I wonder how the folks in Auburn feel about it. I wonder how teammates feel about it. I did a little digging on this today, and I think this is not as bad as it might look from the outside. And also, I thought somebody brought up a great point when it comes to this. He had his commitment so early at Auburn that he really never looked at any other places. And now you're a free agent. Well, you better get in January these days, right?
Of course.
Well, so if you're a free agent, well, now you can go kind of scout around and see where you want to go, and you let other people know that you're available instead of waiting until December.
For their recruiting as well.
So it's no different than like firing your coach early so people know your job's open.
Yeah.
I mean, am I stretching that out a little bit?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I guess kind of the big – and I get that point of view, Brent. But I guess like the big question mark for me is, so the fact is, I mean, he lost this year regardless of what he does. Regardless of if he transfers or if he plays Auburn Tigers, I mean, he's sacrificed this year of eligibility.
He has.
So –
my concern is he's going to come across looking like he quit on the team.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at here a little bit, where Bo Nix hasn't really been playing the best football. One would think that maybe eventually Gatewood would get his number called again. But I can see Gatewood's side where it's like, hey, if you're not going to call my number now, when are you going to call my number?
There's only a few games left.
Exactly, unless Bo Nix gets hurt, right? And like I don't think he's going to bank on that. No one wants to bank on an injury. So I guess, I'm kind of coming around to your idea where, I guess it helps to kind of get in the transfer portal a little early. That way teams can adjust to the recruiting. They can get them in and go from there, And I don't fault Joey Gateway. I mean, there's people who say he quit on his team and everything like that. But at the end of the day, and you can say the quarterback's a double standard, but he's making a business decision, And then this is a decision that I assume he has aspirations to play in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And
he's still got so many years of eligibility.
Exactly.
So he's got plenty of time.
Well, and that's the thing about Bo Nix. But Bo Nix is young, too. So, I mean, they're going to go back and forth. Like, who knows what's going to happen there. So, I understand that people want to say he quit on his team, but I understand this kid's got dreams and aspirations. And let's be honest, maybe he was told something at Auburn where he would be the go-to guy and stuff like that, and maybe they lied to him a little bit. We don't know all the ins and outs, the X's and O's, but all I know is at least he's getting another shot someplace
Great
else.
point. And so this is where I wanted to go. I'm going to stick up for the local guy. I hope he does well. I hope he lands in a great spot. I don't know all the details, but I'm going to be biased toward the local guy, and I'm not going to say he quit on his – there's got to be some reasons here, and I still wonder why Gus Malzahn didn't put him in. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't understand it. If you're trying to win football games and a guy's struggling, go put somebody in that might give you a boost. Don't get it. But what I do think the bigger story is, it goes back to what I say a lot. Mm-hmm. It's these coaches, and they have to do it for their job, fine. But it's wrong. And these guys, sometimes put too much pressure on the young kids to commit. He's loyal, and he commits as a 9th grader, and he keeps it as a 10th grader, 11th, 12th, and then you've promised the world, I'm sure, and then you bring in other guys, and that's your job to bring in other guys. But you can't promise these kids everything because you can't fulfill it.
Yep.
Now, some of it might be on them, but as a coach, you can't fulfill it. That's why Justin Fields is now at Ohio State, right? That's why Jacob Eason is now at Washington. That's why, and I just hate that part of college football. I love the way other sports are going where they don't offer kids until they're a junior. Yeah. You're not allowed to offer until you're a junior. Yeah. And I like that so much more because of this situation. I mean, he was an Auburn Tiger, man, for the last 5 years, maybe 6 years. And now it just didn't work out, so he's got an opportunity to hopefully go somewhere else and resurrect his career and play and see if he can get the most out of his talents. But it's just a crime of college football sometimes, I think. And maybe it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it than that,
And listen, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of this, if Joey Gatewood was lied to or not, but I thought Eric Weddle said it really well on Twitter a couple of days ago regarding the NFL free agency. He said, if you want to gain the players' respect, if you want there to be common ground, then just tell them the truth. They can handle it. I think there's like this big narrative where if a player gets told he's not good enough or he sucks, they're going to freak out because that's like the millennial thing to do. No, I think they're going to freak out even more if you lie to them. If you kind of go behind their back a little bit. I think he's referring to obviously Jamal Adams with the New York Jets, whatever. I mean, but you can apply this to college as well. Like I get it. If you're a head coach and you sit in that guy's living room, you want to get him on your team. You want to maybe make up some false truths just so he can kind of push him over the edge of having him come to university. But he's still a grown man. I mean, I get it. He at the time he's a high schooler, but he's coming to your college a man. And the best thing you can do as a man is just be truthful and speak to him man-to-man, eye-to-eye. So hopefully it's not the case with Joey Gatewood, but I guess we'll find out more in the future.
Hey, you want the ultimate joyride? You can win this. A ride-along experience during the Gator Walk and 2 tickets to the Gator football game upcoming in November. Here's what you do. Go to @PolarisSlingshot.com, @Slingshot on Twitter, @PolarisSlingshot on Instagram. You can check out our posts as well, and you can enter into a contest to get you all set up and a chance to take a ride in this on the Gator Walk and 2 tickets to a Florida Gators football game. Coming up next, Aaron Murray, the former Georgia Bulldog quarterback, and then we hit the wall that says it all to dissect the Florida-Georgia game a little bit. We'll be back on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. According to Chris Westerling from NFL.com, the Jags had the best rookie class in the NFL because of Josh Allen and Gardner Minshew. Both are in the mix right now to be Rookie of the Year on their side of the ball. Speaking of rookies and a roster move, the Jags have promoted undrafted rookie cornerback Brandon Watson to the active roster from the practice squad to replace Josh Robinson, who retired yesterday. Also, congratulations to the Washington Nationals.
The 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Hudson gets him. And for the first time ever, The Washington Nationals are World Series champions.
Thanks to ESPN Radio for the call. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website vidadelouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to vidadelouis.com.
Halloween is just about here. Plan for the costume and the candy. But let me handle your dinner plans Halloween night. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Get Renna's Pizza for dinner before the kids go trick-or-treating. There's a Renna's near you. 5 locations, Marsh Landing, Neptune. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 Live. Renna's knows how to take care of your family. They are family-owned and have been in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Of course, on CBS 47, 3:30 kick, and the party Halloween.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Shop the 904.
We're local, you're local, shop local.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
Shop the 904 and help keep our community unique. Get your favorite locally owned business featured on this radio station and on the Shop the 904 website. Simply visit shopthe904.com and leave us some information and help us share the love for local businesses.
Shop the 904. Powered by Cox Media Group. Visit shopthe904.com.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 live in RV City all weekend long, and we can't wait. The game is coming up on Saturday, of course, on CBS 47, 3:30 kick, and the party is already on in RV City. I actually turned the camera around for our next guest because I wanted some Dogs colors in the background. So we got some Georgia right behind us for our video folks. And we welcome in right now former quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs, Aaron Murray, who played in this game and loves this game because that record's pretty good. Aaron, how you doing, man?
It's definitely good to have a 3-1 record, especially because my parents still live in Tampa, so they can walk around the city proudly with their red and black and not have to worry about, Florida fans giving them crap the entire time. So yeah, it's nice, and it's such an awesome game, and I wish I was down there. I got to go last year. Was blessed and lucky enough to be named to the Hall of Fame for the game. So got to go experience it actually for the first time as a fan. And it did not disappoint one bit. So, like I said, I wish I was out there again this weekend because I think it's going to be a pretty darn good football game.
Yeah, we'll get into that part in just a moment. What was that like as a fan? You've heard all the stories, right? Everybody tells you about them. It's part of the buildup of the game. Forever you're a Georgia Bulldog, and you always hear everybody tailgating here in RV City, everywhere else, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. What was that like for you, knowing that you had played in the game, but you get to experience it a different way?
Well, I grew up watching the game first. I mean, I'm a Tampa kid, and obviously a lot of respect growing up for the SEC. And I went to a lot of Florida games, so of course I was going to watch that Georgia versus Florida football game at 3:30 on CBS every single season. So I grew up watching it, never went, but just grew up watching it, loving every single game. And then getting an opportunity, like you said, to play in it was a dream come true. And then watching it last year in the stands and being part of everything. I think we got there, I want to say we got there on Thursday night, late Thursday, so just had dinner. Then Friday, we had the luncheon at the stadium, got the award, and then kind of spent Friday night having some fun on the town, and then woke up early Saturday because game day was there, and never really been on the game day set either. So I was like, man, I want to go. I get to kill two birds with one stone here. I get to go to Georgia-Florida game, and I get to go see game day. So I got up early. We went over there. I got to experience that, and then kind of walked around, went to some tailgates, and it like I said, it did not disappoint one bit. It's an incredible scene. Everyone was awesome. The passion for either a Georgia fan or a Florida fan could be seen at every single tailgate. And I thought everyone was pretty nice. I was looking forward to, I guess not looking forward to, you never want anyone to get in any fights, but I was expecting a little bit more trash talking, I guess you could say. But Florida fans would say hey to me and Georgia fans would say hey to me, and it ended up going pretty smooth, and it was a lot of fun for both myself and my family.
Former Georgia Bulldog Aaron Murray, the quarterback of this football team during a very successful run of this Georgia-Florida game, won 3 out of 4 games from 2010 to 2013. Now doing some work with CBS Sports and also Sirius XM, and also going to play a little football. We'll talk about that a bit later on with the Tampa Bay Vipers of the XFL. Well, talk about your games a little bit more, Aaron. I mean, these are some classics. Really, the one you lost was an unbelievable football game. You lost 34-31 in overtime, but my guess is one of the most memorable ones has to be 2012 when the Gators were the second-ranked team in the country and you upset them.
Yeah, that was an awesome one, and just the amount of playmakers on that field. I mean, you had Jarvis Jones making plays defensively, knocking balls out at the goal line, and then one of my favorite plays of all time as a Georgia Bulldog was it was just a simple run-it route. We call it a run-it. It's an 8-yard hitch. It's a 3-step and a 3-step and let it rip for me, and probably about a 5-step route for Malcolm Mitchell. And it's something we just run over and over and over again. You think it's one of the basic routes. When you go in the day one install, it's a slant, it's a hitch, it's a run it. And you just run them over and over and over again, and you really don't realize when that importance of the timing, anticipation, the precision with the route, using your hands, coming back to the football, how that can play such a big role in such a pivotal game. Something so small, so easy. I mean, kids at all ages run this route, and you may take it for granted, but Malcolm never took it for granted. We did a great job picking up the blitz on the backside, one-on-one coverage. Like I said, he did a great job creating separation with his route, catching it, eluding the first defender, and then kind of splitting two to get in the end zone for the touchdown was, for me, one of the most memorable plays of my lifetime there at the University of Georgia, and just an incredible win, an incredible football game.
I love that you guys remember those plays, and I know it's kind of like a golfer, right? Remembers that shot from 142 yards out. I just love the memory you guys have of the play call, the exact moments, every step, every second of that play, and you just described it to us. And Aaron Murray joining us, former Georgia Bulldog quarterback. So many great memories here in this Georgia-Florida game for Aaron Murray and the Dogs, especially during his time in Athens. I wanted to ask you about Malcolm Mitchell. I don't know him very well, but I love his story. Can you give us a little bit more insight about Malcolm, what he's done for kids, and what was it like to play with him? I mean, to me, he seems like one of those guys. When you're the quarterback of the football team, he's one of your receivers. That guy's got to be a lifelong friend. But give us something maybe we don't know. Give us a little bit more insight about Malcolm Mitchell.
Well, I knew he was like that from the first day I met him, and when he showed up in the summer his freshman year. I mean, he stood out in practice. He was there every single day, busting his butt, asking me questions. how do you want me to run this route versus this coverage and that coverage, and just always just grinding, doing the right thing. He's someone that you never had to worry about getting in trouble or doing the, not showing up to study hall or not showing up to class or not showing up to training table. I mean, he was there early, and he was ready and prepared at all times. And that's something that is kind of bled over his entire career when it comes to football. And then it kind of just bled over into his day-to-day life of just being a person who takes care of business, a person who puts others first, who's unselfish, who's willing to go that extra mile to make sure that everything's done absolutely perfect. So I love his book. I have it here in my house on my bookshelf, and he's just such an amazing soul in everything he does in the community. And I've had charity events. I had a charity event for ESP. It's an organization I've worked with 10 years based out of Athens, Extra Special People. And, every time I hold an event, whether it's a gala or if it's a charity golf tournament, which we had a few months ago, I text him and he's like, sure, let's make this happen. I'm there. Tell me the date. I mean, he's just one of those guys you can always count on, who's willing and wanting to and enjoys giving back to everyone. So, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Malcolm.
I love hearing that, too, because that's the guy I envision from afar. That's what you read about, and you just put an exclamation point on it, which is really cool. Hey, let's talk about this football team right now, this game. I mean, how good is this game going to be between the Dogs and the Gators? What do you like, what do you not like about either team, and what's going to be the decider on Saturday here in Jacksonville?
It's going to be an awesome football game. I mean, these are two of the best teams in the country. I think they can compete with anyone in the country on any given weekend. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Luckily, I have the Cincinnati at ECU game at 7 o'clock, so I'll get to watch every minute. Hopefully, unless it goes into like double or triple overtime, I might miss that. But it's a great matchup, and for Georgia, people living in the state of Georgia, people are a little upset right now about the offense and are hoping that somehow this off week that they've found a way to recreate themselves. And for all those fans hoping that, I'm going to let you know, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. It's too tough. I've been a part of too many teams and seen too much that it's too tough to recreate your identity in the middle of the season. You are who you are. So for me and looking at Georgia in the offense, it's less about opening it up and throwing the football over the place and more about, listen, if you're going to call yourself the best offensive line in the country and you're 6-7 deep with 4- and 5-star guys that are going to play in the NFL, this is your opportunity to go and show the country that you are the best offensive line in the country. So this is going to be a huge task for them, and I think that's where Georgia just needs to focus. Run. Don't be upset if the fans are mad that it's a 17-14 game. Who cares? You are a running football team that eats up the clock, and I kind of envision it like, a game that I experienced, 2012 SEC Championship game versus Alabama, where Alabama offensively was not doing a whole lot. I mean, they were successful, but not really putting a ton of points on the scoreboard. And then fourth quarter came along, and they just had their way with our defense. It was just run after run, and those 3- and 4-yard pops all of a sudden turned into 8-, 9-, 10-yard pops. And I think that needs to be Georgia's mentality this game. That needs to be Georgia's mentality the rest of the football season. And like I said, they got the dudes at the offensive line to make it happen. They got the backs in the backfield. They got a great quarterback that it has the ability to keep a defense honest with the ability to throw every single route on the route tree. So I think that's going to be their game plan. Take a couple shots here. It's going to be good to see Cager back out there at receiver. Defensively, I'm interested to see what they can do on the defensive side of football. The stats are great, but they've yet to face an offense like Florida that has a very accurate quarterback in Kyle Trask, a guy that looks extremely comfortable in this system, and a bunch of great receivers. And most importantly for me, that makes this offense really go for Florida is Pitts at tight end. I absolutely love what Dan Mullen does with him, kind of putting him all over in different places in the formations. He's backside one-on-one. He's the number 3 guy. He's the number 2 guy. He's frontside number 1. I mean, those are such great indicators for a quarterback, what the coverage is, what the blitz is going to be, what are my matchups that I want to take advantage of, and I think they do a great job of that. So offensively, that's going to be kind of the big battle for Georgia. How do you figure out the formations of Florida? When Pitts is backside, what are you going to do? Are you going to play a cornerback there and play zone coverage? Are you going to put a linebacker? What linebacker can match up with him? Or is it a safety that's going to match up with him? That's going to be kind of the cat and mouse kind of sort of game we'll see throughout that. So it's going to be a great battle. Both teams have had 2 weeks to prepare for it, so they should be well.
Well, I got to believe SiriusXM and CBS Sports loves having you, man. That was pretty awesome analysis. Great job with that, and then keep up the good work on the radio and TV side of things. Aaron Murray, former Georgia Bulldog quarterback. Our interviews this week from RV City brought to you by Palm Beach Autographs in the Avenues Mall. I got to ask you about a couple of Jags players, man, and one you have a relationship. I'm going to save that one. I know you talk a lot of college football, but how about this Minshew mania? How about this Gardner Minshew guy? For Jacksonville, you like watching him play? Have you caught him at all?
Oh yeah, he's been very entertaining. It's hard not to hear all the excitement down there in Jacksonville about the Mr. Mustache and stuff. I actually had the opportunity to cover him last year. His first game at Washington State. I had Washington State at Wyoming, week 1 last season, and there was obviously talks about this kid has a chance to be pretty decent. I think I actually covered him. Where is he at ECU before that, I believe?
Yes.
I covered him actually my first year, too, at ECU, and he was just getting his butt smacked left and right. Their offensive line wasn't very good. And then the next year I had him in the first game, and I was like, man, this dude's actually pretty legit when you give him some time in the pocket. Can make all the throws. Obviously, it was a fun offense that they were running up there at Wazoo, and he's kind of carried that over and has looked really, really, really darn good for a freshman, or not freshman, but as a rookie, going out there and making a ton of plays in that offense.
Well, he's throwing it to a guy that you know pretty well, Chris Conley. You played with him in Athens at University of Georgia. Hey, we have Chris on our show on Jags Report Live on Monday nights at Top Golf here in Jacksonville. He is unbelievable. I know he's a good football player, and I know you know that, but he is awesome at the media stuff. And he's a fun guy to be around. He's coming on here in Jacksonville, too. But I need a little dirt on Conley, man. You got anything for me on Conley so I can bring it to our show on Monday nights?
No, I'm telling you, there's no dirt on Conley. He's a Mr. Renaissance man. He's a kind of a man of many passions and does a lot, whether it's on the football field. I know he, in the past, I don't know if he still does, dabbled in like film and music and playing instruments. And like I said, he's a man of many, many talents. He's fun. He's goofy. He's a heck of a dancer, that's for sure, too. But yeah, he's talented. DeFilippo, I was with DeFilippo as my quarterback coach at Philly. I mean, that dude works his tail off. He knows what he's doing when it comes to calling plays, and yeah, he's definitely situated those guys up to make a bunch of plays down there in Jacksonville.
Great connection there, too. I didn't realize the DeFilippo connection with you as well. I got to ask, how much do people bring up the play in the SEC championship game? How much do you and Chris talk about it? And how much of that is almost now appreciated? I know it sticks out, but that's sports, right? I mean, that's entering the arena. That's putting yourself in a position to be there in those moments. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it doesn't work out. But that's the beauty of sports, too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, people that want to blame Chris for that, it's like, I don't know how you can. The ball wasn't intended for him. I don't think he was expecting it. He literally just turned around, ball hits him in the chest. I think it was just all reaction. That's all it is. I mean, for those who are yelling at him, oh, he should knock the football down, I'm like, dude, you don't know. It's so silly. So, I mean, it happens. I mean, it literally is just unfortunate. They were able to just barely put a fingertip on the football. The ball was actually going for Malcolm Mitchell, trying a little back shoulder fade. It would have been either a catch or incompletion. We've had 2 more plays. And like I said, it's a game of inches or it's a game of fingertips. And literally about a quarter of an inch of his finger tipped that football just enough to kind of get it off course and hit Conley in the chest. He just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just a crazy, crazy football game and crazy ending. And yeah, I get asked about it, probably 365 days out of the year.
Sorry to be one of them.
But it's fine. I mean, that just shows you how much people love college football, love the SEC, and love their Bulldogs. And listen, I'm more than happy to talk about it as much as people want to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's just sometimes the beauty of sports. Sometimes you're on both ends of it. You've been on both ends of it. You still have a passion to play, man. You're going to play in this XFL. Why do you still have such a passion to keep trying?
I'm just playing, and it doesn't affect. I love working with CBS and SiriusXM. So I get to call all the games during the fall and do radio. So I work with the SEC channel. So I'm on from 3 to 6 every single day. So being able to keep that gig is awesome. And then, really all I do in the off season is play golf. So it's gonna hurt my golf game. So I'm like, listen, if I have to give up golf for a few months and get to play a little bit of football, get to go back down to Tampa, where I'm from, get to be in front of friends and family, playing Raymond James Stadium, a stadium I went to a bajillion football games at. I was like, you know what, why not? Like I said, it may hurt my putting and chipping and I'll get back at that in the summertime before fall football season starts.
Good luck with it. We'll keep an eye on it. We appreciate you joining us. And when you sit on that front porch down the road, man, I know it's a long way away, and you're talking to the grandkids, you can always say when you bring up this Georgia-Florida game, well, my senior year I passed a couple of Gators in the yardage mark and in the record books, and Danny Warfel and Tim Tebow. So that's always got to be a good story to tell down the road.
Yeah, I got lucky. It's always fortunate when you get to start 4 years with the amount of talent that I had around me. It definitely helped add on to those yards and touchdowns and all that good stuff.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you joining us, and have a good one. Enjoy the game from afar this time, and look to catch up with you when you're back in Jacksonville sometime.
Appreciate it. You guys have fun down there.
All right, we will. Former Georgia Bulldog quarterback Aaron Murray joining us here from RV City Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Our interviews this week brought to you by Palm Beach Autographs. When we come back here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, we go to the wall that says it all with Austin Lane, and we break down the Gators and the Dogs. It's on the way on ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904. Powered by Cox Media Group. Visit shopthe904.com.
Save now at Travel Camp RV with payments as low as $107 a month and no payments for 90 days. It's fall fun season, time to get out with family and friends in an RV from Travel Camp, where you get the guaranteed lowest price every time. Travel Camp specializes in towables, which keeps the costs lower and the prices lower than all the rest. Choose from the best brands for as little as $107 a month with no payments for 90 days. Shop now and save at Travel Camp RV.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Camry, it's not $25,555. Now it's only $17,288. That's $17,288 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington Toyota. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? Not $20,485. No, it's $13,888. Yeah, $13,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
So your team scores. Suddenly you're best friends with perfect strangers. Tullamore Dew calls these friendships fanships. When the game is on, order a Tullamore Dew, the original triple-blended, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey for the person next to you. This game day, grab a Tully and strike up a fanship at...
Find Tullamore Dew in Jacksonville at Culhane Southside, Culhane's Atlantic Beach, and Lynch's.
When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 2019, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Halloween is just about here. Plan for the costume and the candy. But let me handle your dinner plans Halloween night. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Get Renna's Pizza for dinner before the kids go trick-or-treating. There's a Renna's near you. 5 locations: Marsh Landing, Neptune Beach, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, and San Jose. Renna's knows how to take care of your family. They are family-owned and have been in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Get the costumes and candy ready and let Renna's do the pizza on Halloween. Are you looking for the best wings around? I found the place. Listen up. Hey, everyone. It's Brent Martineau. Mr. Chubby's Wings is awesome. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. They are a part of the community, too. Mr. Chubby's Wings wants to wish all of the high school teams good luck this fall. They've been supporting youth athletics for a decade. Get ready for the game at Mr. Chubby's. Celebrate the big win at Mr. Chubby's. Chub it up with the best wings around. Mr. Chubby's Wings on the west side and in Fleming Island.
Beard's Diamonds is celebrating 39 years in Jacksonville with the biggest sale of the year.
Buy any ladies' wedding band and get the man's band free.
Yes, it's a BOGO on wedding bands.
4 days only, November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Shop and compare. Beard's Diamonds has the guaranteed lowest price.
If you're getting married soon
or just want to upgrade your wedding bands,
now is the time. November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Pros like you know trusted brands have a hand in helping you nail the job. Start with Lowe's, where you'll find those brands and savings too. Stop in today and pick up a new Metabo HPT 1 3/4 inch 15-degree pneumatic roofing nailer for $20 less, now $269. And get a new DeWalt Tough Grip 52-piece steel hex shank screwdriver bit set for just $14.98, saving you $5. For even more ways Lowe's saves your business money, stop by the Pro Desk and talk to our dedicated Pro team today. Whatever you need to get the job done, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 11/6 U.S. only.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Highlander, it's not $35,000. Now it's only $24,688. Yeah, $24,688 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Highlander at Arlington Toyota. How about a Toyota RAV4? It's not $29,865. No way. It's just $21,888. $21,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Oh, let's deep dive into Florida Georgia Week. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 from RV City to the TV studio. And we didn't get there that quick, but we wanted to illustrate something. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and we take you to the wall that says it all. We usually do this with Jags games, but we want to do it with Florida and Georgia a little bit. And the key to this football game coming up on Saturday afternoon in Jacksonville might be simply, can the Gators stop the run of Georgia? Yeah. That's it. If they can make them one-dimensional, we'll talk about Jake Fromm in a moment, but can they stop the run? And this is the South Carolina game, and they did not stop the run very well, but they're without guys like Zuniga, and I think especially Grenard on the defensive side. They're supposed to get healthy, be ready to go on Saturday. That's the word out of Gainesville, so that may be a fix, but they cannot allow plays like this to happen. 3rd and 11 in the third quarter. 3rd and 11 on the 21-yard line. They're just trying to set up to kick a field goal, man, and they give up a touchdown from 21 yards out.
So here's the problem. As we can see, it's 3rd down and 11. One would think it's going to be a pass, correct? I mean, I get it. You can run a draw here, but South Carolina's playing to win here. You know, they're at home. They're feeling good. They want to pull off the upset right now. So let's go on here a little bit. And, you know, this kind of breaks my heart, Brent, because I may have made this play a couple times as a defensive end where I've got chewed out myself. And here's what happens, basically. It's 3rd and 11. So anytime I hear 3rd and 11 or 3rd and long, my ears are pinned back, and I'm thinking, playing the pass. The defensive end here to the right is thinking the same thing that I used to think all the time. Playing the pass. Go get your quarterback sacks. Go get your money. Unfortunately, he doesn't even really engage the tackle right here and just gets blown by the play.
Yeah, run out of the play.
Just run out of the play. Can't make a play. You have to keep in mind, if you're a defensive end and it's 3rd and long, you still have to gauge the tackle a little bit, then work off there. Hardly really do you want to not have your hands on him, just speed rush and get blown by. That's what happens here. So as you can see, the hole right here, wide open.
Okay, but again, it's 3rd and 11. Now he's at the 26. He's going to get 15 yards.
Exactly.
And what happens down here as we follow the sequence, and the Gators are in chase mode.
Pursuit.
And I think we're either going to get a pursuit problem, but also a tackling problem.
Absolutely. I mean, it's simple here. When you make a mental mistake like this, guys have to have your back. And unfortunately, the linebacking core, the other defensive linemen, whether they're gassed, they're tired, it's the 3rd quarter, it's South Carolina.
It was wet.
It's wet.
Maybe slippery.
Maybe it's pretty humid out there. I don't know. I mean, you can go ask Willie Tager what to do for hydration purposes. Whatever the issue is right now, guys look tired and guys are hustling to the football. And obviously, it's 8-8 out the gate, and then they get a big run from this.
Yeah, and this is a touchdown. I mean, it ends up being a touchdown run. And I mean, look at all the Gators here.
Yeah.
But they can't get them down. You know, even after the first down marker. So they've got to stop the run. By the way, if you're just joining us for the first time and watching Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, we're in RV City, of course, all week for Florida Georgia week. But we do this a bunch, and you can listen to our show on ESPN 690 in your car, ESPN690.com. We like to illustrate this as best we can for your ears, but you can also watch this each and every week as we do a segment or two like this on the wall that says it all on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. So let's get to Jake Fromm now, okay? Because Jake Fromm feels like he's in a bit of a slump. He's been spectacular at Georgia. He is not like the Jalen Hurtses and the Tuas and all these guys, right? That Heisman candidates. Yeah. And he's just not. Joe Burrow's even this year. But he's a steady player that doesn't lose you football games. But he lost this game, once again, South Carolina in the fold because they beat Georgia.
Absolutely.
This is a 4th quarter game, man. This is when Georgia likes to wear people out.
Yeah.
And Jake Fromm made critical mistakes in the 4th quarter of that game when they lost to the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Mistakes you just can't make.
And listen, it's mistakes like these, and it's really their lack of explosive plays why it's so important for Florida to stop the run. Because, in my opinion, I think Georgia's going to try to slow this game down a little bit and try to wear Florida out. You know, Georgia has the athletes to run and gun, but for whatever reason, they're not getting, those big looks this year. So as we're evaluating Georgia here, listen, one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the entire country.
Absolutely.
As you can tell from the pocket right here.
Led by Solomon Kinley.
Exactly.
Raines High School.
There we go. So as you can see, as Fromm steps up in the pocket, I mean,
it's clean, man.
It's clean. It's absolutely clean.
I mean, just to go back to, if you're just listening, trips to the left, single wide receiver to the right.
Sure.
They're on the 44-yard line. It's 3rd and 3 in the 4th quarter with 9.5 to go. They're down a touchdown. So they're driving here. Yeah. And then as the play develops, you're right, man, this is a clean pocket. There's not a lot of pressure on Fromm at all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as we go down to the big slide over here, I mean, it's just a misthrow. You know, I mean, there's no other explanation. There's no pressure. The ball doesn't get tipped. It's just a really bad throw that South Carolina capitalizes on.
Let me ask you this. Should he have thrown, if we go back a sequence, he's got the back. Now,
he does.
Gamecocks have an eye on him.
They do.
Did he make the wrong read here, do you think, or is it just a terrible throw?
You know what? I think it was kind of predestined here where he's going with the ball. Because if you watch this play out, he doesn't turn to see anybody else. I think he's kind of keying in on the receiver a little bit.
They only need 3 yards.
Yeah, which is fine. You can key on the receiver, but then go ahead and make the play. Because when you key on the receiver, it gives the defensive back time to retaliate and try to get the interception. Well, it was such a bad throw where it didn't even matter where the corner was. The corner's getting the interception regardless.
This is why we wanted to illustrate this play, too, because there's a simplicity to this. This is just a simple play. I mean, this is a play that Jake Fromm's made a lot, and if he's not making these kind of plays, Georgia's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
He's played well in big games over these last couple of years. Well, this is a big game coming up on Saturday. I expect him to play well, but if he continues to be in a little bit of a slide, which he has been the last few weeks, well, then Georgia's going to be in a lot of trouble because they need to convert this play against the Gators if they want to win.
Well, let's be honest. Florida's got some good pass rushers coming in. They have a good secondary, so hence why I think they want to pound the rock a little more, too, and try to wear out the Florida Gators.
Absolutely. All right, now let's go to the last slide here, and we bring in Kyle Trask. And this kid's been impressive, filling in for Felipe Franks, and he might even be, dare I say, better than Felipe Franks.
And it's crazy surprising, right? Because usually Mullen, he kind of likes those mobile quarterbacks. Not to say Trask isn't that mobile, but he would rather have maybe a Felipe Franks or an Emory Jones in the situation where he can kind of run and pass at the same time. Absolutely. That dual threat kind of quarterback. Kyle Trask is more of that traditional pocket passer.
So we got trips left. We got a single receiver right. The ball's down on the doorstep of LSU. They're down a touchdown in the 2nd quarter, and this was right at the end of the half. So this might be the final play before they kick a field goal if they don't cash in.
Yeah.
And down 21-14, 9 seconds to go, 2nd and goal. This is pretty simplistic as well, but I think there's some interesting design from Dan Mullen, too.
Yeah, so obviously with Kyle Trask, man, playing in LSU, a crazy environment at night, this is kind of, I think, his coming out party. He kind of put his name on the map here a little bit. As you said, you got trips left here, and don't get it twisted. Florida, they have some good receivers and a fantastic tight end, so they're great in the passing game. As you see the play breakdown here, basically what we have is we got man coverage, and then they are double teaming number 10, I believe it is, right here in the middle.
So what I like to see right here, man, and Van Jefferson's eventually going to get that. He's the middle receiver.
Yep.
But look at how spread out Mullen gets the field.
I know.
To create the man-on-man and say, hey, we're going to beat you, even though you have a great secondary, LSU, even though you're great on defense, or, well, not great this year, but you have good players on defense. We think our guy can beat your guy, right?
Correct. And here's the beauty of it. Anytime you go with these spread offenses like this, Brett, this is what Dan Mullen loves to do. Because like I said before, he loves the dual threat kind of quarterback. And even though Trask might not be the fastest guy, if this play breaks down and the lanes open up like they do sometimes, Trask can take this ball in for, like a 6-yard run for a touchdown. So that always leaves the option there too. So that's why going with the spread right here is so vital.
All right, here's what I love. Here's what I think you should love if you're a Gator fan about Kyle Trask. It's a big game, right? Huge game on the road. And they lose the game. But like you said, he got a lot of respect. He played well for the most part. Made a couple mistakes, but he played well. And in the loud part of the stadium, right, in the end zone, he's able to make really a perfect play. Look at the end of this. Just a smash concept route by Jefferson at the end of the day. But really, if we take you down to the last sequence, the ball's already in the air. Jefferson's just coming out of his break. He's actually being held on the play.
Okay, of course, we have a little holding right here, but it's the perfect throw, right? And it's a throw where only Jefferson can make it. And that's the most important part, where if you're going to make a mistake in the end zone, make it so nobody else can get the interception. And that's exactly what Trask does right here.
All right, so there you go. Touchdown by Kyle Trask. Good play. Can he play well in another big game here in Jacksonville? Played well, didn't win. You got to win big games now. Jake Fromm's proven he's been able to do that. Kyle Trask, will he be able to do it in Jacksonville on Saturday? We got a fantastic matchup in the River City, and we'll talk more about it, of course, not only the rest of the show, but also tomorrow as RV City and the River City gets all fired up for a weekend of college football and a game that means everything in the SEC East. When we come back, more Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau and Austin Lane, thanks for hanging out with us. Martineau and Austin Lane, thanks for hanging out with us.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Trick-or-treaters this evening will have a few scattered showers and very warm temperatures before it turns cooler late tonight, dropping into the upper 50s by morning. With the First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's Wedding Band BOGO sale, 4 days only, November 7th through the 10th.
Our partners at BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country, would like to thank all of the coaches out there who truly are the heart of the game. While BSN Sports is the best at equipping athletes with a one-stop shop for everything needed to run an athletic program, coaches are the best at equipping lives. And that's the real final score. Learn more about how BSN Sports can save you time off the field so you can impact more lives on it by calling your local BSN Sports sales professional or by visiting bsnsports.com today.
At Action News Jacks, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jacks First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather, and that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jacks First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Beard's Diamonds is celebrating 39 years in Jacksonville with the biggest sale of the year. 4 days only. Buy her wedding band and get his band free. November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And only at Beard's Diamonds at the Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group. Visit shopthe904.com.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by **, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing ** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's ** Mobile. When prospective customers see your offline or online ad and they dial your branded ** Mobile number, ** Mobile helps to convert them through text, voice, and online communications. Give it a try now by dialing ** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's ** Mobile.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
Get your Florida-Georgia weekend started with Golick & Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golick & Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. According to Chris Westerling from NFL.com, the Jags had the best rookie class in the NFL because of Josh Allen and Gardner Minshew. Both are in the mix right now to be Rookie of the Year on their side of the ball. Speaking of rookies, and a roster move, the Jags have promoted undrafted rookie cornerback Brandon Watson to the active roster from the practice squad to replace Josh Robinson, who retired yesterday. Also, congratulations to the Washington Nationals.
The 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Hudson gets him. And for the first time ever, the Washington Nationals are World Series champions.
Thanks to ESPN Radio for the call. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Hi, I'm Chris Berman, and every time I come back to Jacksonville, I listen and watch Action Sports Jacks.
We don't necessarily circle any game. I think we just, if you asked me who we're playing, whatever it is, week 8, or if you asked me that week 1, I wouldn't be able to tell you who we're playing because we're all focused on the team we're playing that week.
I'll tell you what, Kyle Trask may not have started a lot of games in his football career, but he sounds like a guy who's a seasoned vet. Trask, stop lying to me and saying that this game's not important. You guys haven't been circling this game since winter conditioning. You know dang well when you're struggling on those gas balls or you're doing that, those stadium runs, you want to throw a little extra Georgia in there, a little extra motivation to get things underway. But, you have to respect Trask and what he says. Trying to keep it professional. I get it. I'm not going to fault you for that, homie. But obviously this game is a little bit bigger because this is Florida-Georgia weekend after all. Austin Lane back here on ESPN 690. You saw me down at RV City. Now I'm back in the studio. Going to hand it off to Brent Martineau here in about 20 minutes or so as he's doing the high school football game of the week. I'll tell you what, though. Barely got in here. Like, the way Brent set this up with the timing, it couldn't have worked any better because I literally just got in here right now. I'm sure if you're watching me in high definition, you notice I'm sweating because I was stressing out in traffic. And when I'm stressing out in traffic, unfortunately, I have a fight coming up. But the first thing I wanted to do while I was cursing on my steering wheel, hoping to get back in time, was have a little drink, have a little happy hour shindig. So let's go to the happy hour horn quick here. Real Kuz, have you got it for us?
Can't make nobody come between us. Can't make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
It's the careless party now begin. See the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes. Gangsters rolling, half face smiling, heads over, think of the rhythm what you're drinking. Anything goes. Hey.
Grab a drink, get a shot, and tip your Star Tenders. And speaking of Star Tenders, our friends at Vida de Louis, they're going to be at the Bricks tonight and tomorrow, hosting a little bit of a shindig here at the Bricks Tap House. They're going to be featuring the band The Mosquitoes both nights, starting at 9 p.m. They have a deal going on where if you buy a bottle of Vida de Louis, you can get engraved for free. So it'll make a great stocking stuffer for the holidays, or just a great excuse to drink a little bit during the Florida-Georgia weekend, obviously. As they say, well, they don't say it anymore, supposedly, but it is the world's largest cocktail party. Why not include the world's largest cocktail party with a little bit of Vida de Louis? Also, remember, too, they're going to be featuring 2 new flavors, the Añejo and the Reposado. Reposado. Did I say that right, Kuz?
I don't know. It sounded better than when Brent does it.
You know why? Because I can roll my R's. That's
you
why.
roll the R, yeah.
They're going to be featuring 2 new flavors, too, at Bricks, and I'm sure you'll be seeing that over Florida-Georgia weekend as well. Give them a try. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a big tequila dude, but from my understanding is the fact that they actually age them in these bourbon barrels adds a little more smokiness, a little more flavor to your tequila, which I'll be honest, I'm not mad at all. So go and give those a try as well. Once again, they'll be at Bricks tonight and tomorrow. Mosquitoes going on at 9 o'clock. So there we go with our friends at Vida de Louis. Kuz, how we doing, man?
I'm great. I've been chilling.
Yeah, it's pretty low key in here right now. It's quiet.
Well, here's the thing, because it's Halloween, so everybody in the building's essentially left.
Because it's a national holiday for the people at work.
They gotta take their kids out, you know. But
okay.
I thought there was a rule like Halloween didn't start till the sun went down. But
sure.
I don't know. So nobody's here.
Okay.
So it's been kind of chill. Like I've had the door open. I'm yelling. I'm at my computers while you guys are doing the show and stuff, and nobody's really complained. So
all right. I'm a little disappointed that you're not wearing a costume right now. You're kind of
where'd it go? Hold up, I had one.
All right, I guess Kuz is going to get a costume here. While he's doing that, I don't know where this is going right now. But let's get into a little ballin' and fallin'. Since this is, I guess, the Kuz hour right now, a little ballin' and fallin' Driving Dish podcast here. So for my ballin', big UFC fights going on this weekend. Really probably the biggest fight of the year. And I get it. I say that all the time when I'm breaking down these fights. But I can wholeheartedly say if you're going to watch one UFC fight this year, watch this one, because it's between 2 OGs, and it's actually for the BMF belt. Yes, Dana White made a BMF belt. Of course, BMF means bad mother, you know what? Okay, so we're going to sidetrack from the UFC talk right now because Kuz put on his costume.
It's not really mine. Someone just had it here, so I grabbed it.
Obviously it's not yours because you look like a 50 Shades of Grey character. You look like Nicole Kidman from Eyes Wide Shut right now, dude.
But look, it lights up to my voice. Like, when I talk, it lights up.
So to set the scene real quick here, my producer, Kuz, is wearing a flowery
like a
neon Mardi Gras, just really mystique mask, but it's got a lot of feminine features on it.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
And he looks like Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut. So congratulations,
But it
Kuz.
lights up when you talk.
It does light up when you talk. That's pretty cool. Doesn't sell it for me, though. I'm now officially a little afraid. But anyways, getting back to the ballin' part of the segment. So Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, 2 OGs fighting for the BMF belt. And, being the BMF that Jorge Masvidal did, he had one of the ultimate best, pre-UFC workouts of all time. And to kind of set the scene for the workout, basically what happens is, the media is there. They do a little session on the mitts and everything, just kind of get a little sweat going, answer some questions. Well, Jorge Masvidal took it to a whole nother level, as instead of hitting the mitts, and answering questions, he elected to bring, a couple pairs of sparring gloves and elected for anybody in the crowd that wanted to spar each other to get on stage and do it. Well, if Jorge Masvidal asks you to do that, you're going to do that. So Jorge Masvidal hosted about 4 unsanctioned fights on stage between, friends, colleagues of the media, whoever it was, fans, and they literally fought on stage. This was all good and everything until the UFC officials had to shut it down. I think the UFC commission had to shut it down because Jorge Masvidal cannot be doing unsanctioned fights on stage. But it's definitely a ball-in segment from my standpoint, man. It's something you've never seen before. And I'm going to be breaking down that fight a little more tomorrow as we prep for that Saturday pay-per-view card. Fallen. Well, this is the Driving Dish podcast. We talk about it sometimes. Fallen's got to be Steph Curry right now. The Golden State Warriors, not off to a good start, obviously. They got, what was the final score last night, Kuz?
Oh, dude, it was actually relatively closer than I thought it should be. It was I think the Warriors had 110 and I want to say the Suns were 125 or something like that off the top of my head, but it was around that score.
Okay.
But at one point it was 50-14.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. And
that's where,
Well, and now Steph Curry breaks his hand. And he's going to be out probably in an indefinite period of time. It's the game of basketball is so crazy, and it's probably, in my estimations, probably the biggest sport where if you lose 1 to 2 guys, you're done. And I know you're saying, well, Austin, obviously only 5 players at a time on the court, and I get that. But, man, I mean, you want to go from you lose Kevin Durant and then Klay Thompson out for the year. And one would think the former MVP, Steph Curry, can put the team on his back. If you're the most valuable player any time in your career, one would think that you can put the team on your back and still, make the team manageable. Well, the Warriors are off to a bad start, and now they're going to be off to even a worse start because Steph Curry is going to be out for a while. Literally all you got left is really Draymond Green, right, Kuz?
And I want to say he was, 2016, 2017.
D'Angelo Russell?
Well, I had to look it up real quick because, to your point, Steph Curry being former MVP, Draymond Green being former Defensive Player of the Year. So it's 2 guys that have these awards. You think they would be the focus of the offense, but someone pointed it out to me that Draymond Green in his career from even high school and college, and then obviously the Warriors, has always been so successful and hasn't really had bad seasons for the most part. So they're wondering how long he can handle, the negative press, the heat. He was in your Fallen or stay in your lane the other day for getting a little upset. So wonder what's going to happen with him there. But not a good look. Not to pitch the podcast, but on it, I said the Warriors were going to be second in the West. And let's just say I don't think that's going to happen.
Second in the West. Huh?
I may or may not have been wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that may seem, obviously it's drawn out and it's a long season, but you're really going to find out what Steve Kerr's made of now. You're really going to see if Steve Kerr can really rally a team with Draymond Green, who you mentioned was the former Defensive Player of the Year. And I get that. That's a great accolade. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's something to be proud of. But at the end of the day, especially nowadays, the NBA, it's a scoring league. And Draymond Green, maybe a great defender. Occasionally, he'll have a good box score in terms of scoring points, but for the most part, the guy just can't take over a game by himself. Like I talked about, D'Angelo Russell can help out a little bit, but I think it's going to be to the doghouse for the Golden State Warriors now. And we'll be keeping an eye on that, obviously. San Antonio Spurs, off to a good start, 3-0 already. Popovich has those guys playing well. I'm not sure if I can name 2 players right now on the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to be honest with you, but it really seems like it doesn't matter who Pop has on that team. Usually they're from Europe. They seem to be doing really well. My Milwaukee Bucks.
I was going to say, you want to talk about the other team that doesn't have a loss yet?
We're going to break down the Philadelphia 76ers when we come back from this segment. It's going to be during my Pump Your Break segment, actually. And I have a bone to pick with the 76ers, the NBA. I think there's some conspiracy talk going on because Ben Simmons, I respect him, man. Hell of a player. Starting to work on his three-point shot a little bit. Should be suspended for half the season. If you thought Malice at the Palace was bad, was that game last night? Was it in Philly? Where was it at?
Good question.
Well, wherever it was, there's a lot of violence going on.
I think it was in Philly.
It was in Philly. So, I don't know. I'm going to think of a cool name to call when we come back on the show. But, yeah, I have a bone to pick with Ben Simmons, the NBA, and the Philadelphia 76ers when we come back on ESPN 690.
Golic and Wingo.
Aaron Rodgers, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say, is a... But how spectacular Aaron Rodgers was able to be. I mean, all we're going to remember is that freak show throw to Aaron Jones in the end zone. I don't know if it was a throwaway or not, but what it was magic. Aaron Rodgers looks like 2 straight weeks now. He's in the flow with Matt LaFleur. But if you're the Chiefs, you got to say to yourselves, we had every opportunity to win this game with our backup quarterback. That defense let him down.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Save now at Travel Camp RV with payments as low as $107 a month and no payments for 90 days. It's fall fun season. Time to get out with family and friends in an RV from Travel Camp, where you get the guaranteed lowest price every time. Travel Camp specializes in towables, which keeps the costs lower and the prices lower than all the rest. Since 1982, they've helped more families make more great memories. Shop now and save at Travel Camp RV.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota CHR, it's not $22,660. Now it's only $17,988. That's $17,988 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota CHR at Arlington Toyota. How about a Toyota Tacoma? It's not $29,635. No way. It's just $23,888. $23,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
What's up, Jacksonville? Angie here, president of Angie Staffing. If you're finding it harder and harder to find the right candidates, or your ads are letting you down, call me, Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. I have over 20 years of experience right here in Jacksonville. I can help with anything: accounting, finance, legal, even that one position that's impossible to fill. Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. We're bringing back the hustle.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
There are many challenges facing small business owners, from financing your operation to hiring the right people. Where can you go to find possible solutions? The Jacksonville chapter of SCORE offers workshops on various topics relevant to running a small business. Subject matter experts lead these workshops, most of which are free or at a nominal cost. If you're interested in attending any of the 120 workshops being held this year, go to the Take a Workshop tab found on our website, jacksonville.score.org.
Get your Florida Georgia weekend started with Golic and Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golic and Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the iHeartRadio app.
Just trying to figure out the best way to handle all the travel and everything, because I do hear that that's, it's definitely different. So just trying to handle it the best way I can. Luckily, basically everybody here has done it, so I get to lean on their experience. But it's something that I am excited for.
Gardner Minshew, quite possibly the most popular Halloween costume at least this side of the United States. But if you watch sports TV right now on ESPN or anywhere, it seems like everyone's rocking the Minshew costume today for Halloween. So congratulations to Minshew, I guess. I'm curious to see what he's going to be rocking to London, man.
What's he going to be for Halloween?
That's a good question.
Well, I guess he's not going. He's going to be on a plane for Halloween.
Yeah, you're going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. You're trying to win a game against Houston, Coos. There's priorities right now.
No candy for him.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm really curious to see the whole ensemble that he's rocking on that 12-hour plus plane ride to London. And we have Stuart Weber over there for Action Sports Jacks. He'll be covering it for the majority of the time. So be sure to tune into that. Check that out. I have a little announcement to make. So I actually made a miscalculation here on the party going on at the Bricks for our friends of Vita de Louis. It is not tonight. I thought tonight is Friday. It's only Thursday. It's Halloween. I get excited. So Friday night and Saturday night will be the Vita de Louis shindig. The Mosquitoes will be playing both nights there. So go out there, check it out, buy a bottle of Vita de Louis, and get it engraved for free. So check that out. A little stay in your lane now. I teased it. I want to get right into it. Before I absolutely lose my mind on Coos and the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm going to go take the high road here with a little cruise control real quick. And today, cruise control is going out to Jim Harbaugh. You know, I've been kind of critical of Jim Harbaugh. I think a lot of people have. Obviously, the Michigan Wolverines, while they did beat Notre Dame pretty handedly, it's been another underachieving season for the Michigan Wolverines. And one could say, depending on what happens in the Ohio State game, Harbaugh's job could be on the line here. But there's a recruit by the name of J.D. Johnson, and he was slated to start up, going to the university next year. He signed his letter of intent. Unfortunately, this quarterback was discovered to have a heart condition and was forced away to walk away from the game of football. Obviously, that's a crappy situation. You have your hopes and dreams ahead of you. You get that scholarship offer. You sign your letter of intent, and all of a sudden, doctor tells you can't play football anymore. Because of a heart condition. And I thought Jim Harbaugh, how he handled this situation here, basically what happened was he came out and said, regardless of the situation, even though he's not going to be able to play in J.D. Johnson, Harbaugh is still going to honor his scholarship. And he'll get, either the 4 or the 5 years of the tuition paid for and everything like that. I'm sure that Jim's going to bring him on in some kind of capacity, whether it's like a manager or like maybe like a coach, something like that. But I thought it was really cool that Jim Harbaugh actually honored that kid's scholarship, because you hear it happen so many times, and it's really something that doesn't get talked a lot about, surprisingly, in the world of recruiting. But you have these kids who get hurt, maybe their careers are in jeopardy, and I know players personally that the teams have pulled their scholarships away. I really wonder, and it's funny, and I'm not really sure where the rule stands right now. Probably something I need to do some more research on, but we're talking about this whole pay-to-play thing, and athletes should get reimbursed for that. And I've been on board since the show started. I'm all for college players getting their names licensed regardless of the sport, and them getting compensated fairly. I think it's the only thing to do. I think it's the only thing that makes sense to do, because you have band kids that are offering private lessons of that nature. So to me, it's only right. But something that doesn't really get talked a lot about is like, should there be a rule in state? And I'm more on the football end right now, but you can kind of point to any college athlete, any college sport, where if that student signs the national letter of intent, to play at that university, should that scholarship get honored 4 years or 5 years or whatever you want to do? And I don't get me wrong. I think a student has a right to lose their scholarship if A, their grades are bad, B, they get in trouble and get thrown off the team, or, C, if it's like some kind of like contract, behavior that's detrimental to the team, we'll just say. So I understand, there's a couple things that can warrant you're not getting a scholarship or maintaining the scholarship, but to say, well, this kid's not playing good enough football, this kid got hurt, things of that nature, I think it's something that the NCAA should look at a little bit. And I'm not saying where you honor the kid's scholarship and that costs you like a roster spot on the team. Maybe there's some way where, especially now, players are getting paid here, where there's some way you can actually incorporate the scholarships where, say, a student athlete gets hurt and he can't play anymore, well, he's still honored that scholarship, but in another capacity, and it doesn't count against the team. Just something to think about in the future. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed, because the last thing you want to see is a high school kid with his hopes and dreams all ahead of him get hurt, and all of a sudden he's not going to school anymore because the scholarship gets pulled. So props to Jim Harbaugh. Thoughts out to J.D. Johnson. And I'm glad to see that it didn't work out, but at least, the kid still gets to go to school for free, which is a pretty cool thing in my book. Pump your brakes. Kuz, audio.
Wow, there are bodies strewn all over the floor. Ben's got a grasp of his neck, as you can see right there.
So this is what I'm going to call the reckoning in the Wells Fargo Center.
Okay.
Okay, no, it's not okay. This is
all right.
This is a it's a good name, right?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so what we had last night was the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. And there was some pushing, some shoving, and it ended up being the fact that Karl Anthony Towns, the big 7'0", he seems like he's 7 feet. He's a tall dude. Goes down to the ground. Ben Simmons felt the need to basically UFC move him, Matt Hughes move him, like Brett Martin was talking about today, puts a rear naked choke on him in the middle of a pile, in the middle of a skirmish. And the best part is Karl Anthony Towns is getting choked out, basically, fighting for his life. You see him tap on the floor, which
I was wondering if he was tapping or if he was just mad and slammed it. You know what I mean?
Kuz, the last thing he's going to be doing if he's getting choked out is slapping the floor dang it, I should have got myself here in the first place. Dang it, how did I end up here? I'm slapping the floor. No, he was literally that's like a human instinct. If someone chokes you out, it's like your instinct to tap. I'm sure Karl Anthony Towns watches UFC fighting. Yeah. Obviously, Ben Simmons wasn't relieving the choke at all, and it appeared like he was trying to choke the life out of him. So now let's fast forward to today. Okay, and from Kuz, what you've been telling me, I guess Karl Anthony Towns and Ben Simmons are actually decent friends.
So, yes, they stream video games together fairly often. And so what ended up happening is the Timberwolves submitted a complaint, as you probably would imagine.
As they should. Your star player is getting choked unconscious on the basketball court.
To the NBA, asking them to reevaluate the whole situation. Obviously, both got Embiid. The whole thing that happened, the original initiation of this was Embiid and Towns kind of interlocked arms, and then they got into a shoving match. Karl Anthony Towns threw a punch, and then Simmons was right there, and it kind of went to the ground, and that's where everything got crazy. Yes.
Yeah. And I find it funny, too, because Embiid, has come out to start the season off saying he's going to be a little more calm. He's not going to get in the drama and everything.
Did you see what they both were saying back and forth on social media?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But, hey, one step at a time here.
So the NBA puts out, obviously, both guys at fault. I didn't read anything about fines yet. I just know that they said they were at fault. The ejections were just. And they said Ben Simmons' involvement was as a peacemaker.
So my question to you, and why this is the Pump Your Brakes segment, listen, I'm all for some skirmishes on the basketball court. I'm for shoving. It's a physical game, and sometimes, guys get tested. And I'm all for that. Now, it's the start of the season. We're not in playoff basketball yet. This is a marathon, not a sprint, everybody. But I like it, man. It adds that physical element that you kind of miss with the old school NBA a little bit. Growing up watching MJ, growing up, with the Pistons and everything like that. Those are physical teams. So I'm for the physicalness of it. But for the NBA to come out and try to justify Ben Simmons trying to choke somebody unconscious with the rear naked choke, and to say he was the peacemaker. Was Ben Simmons was he an exorcist and he was trying to choke out the demons of Karl Anthony Towns? Is this why he's considered a peacemaker in this situation here?
I think the reason they thought he was a peacemaker is because he initially went in there as a peacemaker. Embiid and Cat are going at it. And then Ben Simmons you can see him grab Cat from behind to try to pull him away.
Yeah.
But then the pile kind of goes down. And so it kind of changed, I guess. But I don't know. When you see the ref go over to pull Ben away, he pulls his hands off. He pulls him out. He pulls his hands up. So I think you might have the benefit of the doubt, but I guarantee you the Timberwolves fans are going to be so mad if the NBA rules that.
Oh, without doubt. And don't give me the thing where he put his hands up so he's all good. Dude, the person that is guilty in a fight or in a pile, I don't care if it's on a football field. I don't care if it's at Jacksonville Beach. I don't care if it's back home in Wisconsin. If there's a skirmish and all of a sudden the cops come in and someone puts their hands up like, I didn't do anything, guess what?
They're the one that did something?
They're the one that did something. They're guilty as charged there.
I think the way this will go is Cat's going to get the bigger fine because he threw a punch. I
Well,
really do.
No, for sure. And granted, yeah, I mean, that the punch is the malice
But
intent
I think
there.
that's where people are going to get upset because they're going to see that and it'll be whatever it is, but it won't be as much as potentially Embiid and Ben.
I'm just saying, if you're choking somebody out, you got them in a rear naked choke on a basketball court, I feel like some, repercussions got to happen here. And then when you put your arms up like you didn't do anything, even though you clearly did. Listen, dude, if I was a cop, and listen, I don't want to be a cop, dude. It's a rough job. I got nothing but respect for policemen out there. But if I'm a policeman and I go to a college party and I'm trying to break it up because there's a giant fight, first guy that puts their hands up and says I didn't do anything, I'm tasing him and I'm arresting
It's
him.
you.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
you.
it's you. I'm like, yep, you instigated it. It's your fault. You're the Ben Simmons of the situation, and I'm walking away with that guy in hand. The peacemaker, yeah. So the fact that the NBA comes out and calls Ben Simmons a peacemaker, almost celebrates him for choking somebody out, unreal. And the fact that Karl Anthony Towns was tapping out to no avail because you know what, Karl Anthony Towns, you're not in an MMA cage, dude, and there's no UFC ref to come help you out.
Well, I was just saying from the audio, you said the announcer sounded kind of happy about it too. Like he's here.
Wow, their bodies
He's, like,
strewn
happy.
all over the floor. Ben's got a grasp of his neck, as you can see right there.
So, I don't know who that dude is. I don't know if it was like the Philly broadcast or who that guy announcing
He's
is.
happy about it.
Go announce UFC if you're going to be that jolly about someone getting choked. Dude, I watched that live and I was cringing. I was like, oh, that's not a good look. Like, hopefully he's going to be okay. He's got whiplash now or something.
I was flipping between that, the World Series, and the Rockets Wizards game.
Yeah.
I was all over the place.
Well, by the way, James Harden dropping, 50-something?
59 of his team's 159 points.
Yeah. So is it safe to say right now James Harden's going to be the guy going forward for the Houston Rockets and Russell Westbrook is going to play the second fiddle?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll end up, kind of doing that, and Russell will kind of set up the offense, but let Harden be the main scorer, yes.
Absolutely. All right, so then getting to the second part now, because we're not done with the Philadelphia 76ers. So now, Embiid, who's he going to war with on Twitter right now? Is it Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, he called him a cat.
He called him a cat.
Because his name's Cat, but
But then it was a CAT, not
Yeah, and he said he's a lion.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, but to be fair, Karl Anthony Towns also said something as well.
Well, I know, and we can break it down. We have to edit some things out here. But who wins the fight? Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns? Two athletic big men.
I think, I was looking at it more like who looks worse off right now. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and here's my issue. I get it. Like, he threw the punch. You can't do that. Like, I get it. You can push and shove, but anytime you punch somebody, it's not a good look. But at the same time, if you're Embiid, hey, you guys are 4-0 right now. Embiid, you're healthy. Stay healthy. Your back's not hurting you. You say you're not going to get involved in the drama. Well, here we are on Twitter getting involved in the drama. At the end of the day, just put him in a cage. Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, let him duke it out and hash it out there. And as far as Ben Simmons and Karl Anthony Towns, I'm not sure if they're still going to be friends after this. I'm not sure if they're going to be streaming after this. All I know is if you choke me out on the basketball floor, Kuz, I would not come on your video game stream. Hands down. All right, so I think we're all done for the day on ESPN 690.
Catch us early tomorrow.
Catch us early tomorrow. We'll be with Mike and,
Golic and Wingo.
Yeah, Golic and Wingo. Mike and Mike. What year is this? We're going to be with Golic and Wingo here. Intuition. Going to be there at 6 a.m. they start. I should probably be there around 8 or so. Gonna hit that snooze button a little bit. little beer and breakfast, if you will. Stay tuned with Brent Martineau. Gonna do the high school football, the high school game of the week.
Yep, Fletcher and Mandarin.
Fletcher and Mandarin. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. Intuition. Have a good night, everybody. Happy Halloween. Eat that candy.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Is Max Muncy a great name for a power hitter? 80% of the audience said yes. It's hard to get better than that, right? Max Muncy?
Well, let's see. Can we do better than that? Can anyone do better than Max Muncy?
Home Run Smith.
That's a great one, Chris. You did great work there. Home Run Smith.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Our partners at BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country, would like to thank all of the coaches out there who truly are the heart of the game. While BSN